What if a mouse could change the world? If I could ride a runaway railway with Mickey and Minnie? What if there could be a huge party with all my Disneyland friends?
Come celebrate 100 years of Disney during a once-in-a-lifetime celebration at the Disneyland Resort. Both tickets and park reservations required. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
Cars for Kids, K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids, 1877 Cars for Kids, donate your car today.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
Donate your car today.
This February, Xfinity Flex is unlocking premium entertainment for you to try every single week, no strings attached. Celebrate during Black History Month with shows like Unsung the Decades. Snuggle up during Valentine's Day with a Lifetime Movie Club pick like Harry and Meghan, A Royal Romance. Or crank up the action with Godfather of Harlem from MGM+. Get down and funky with the Classic Soul playlist from iHeartRadio. Easily discover new free content each week across the best streaming app. Say free this week into your Xfinity voice remote.
Now let's go courtside.
To Dinwiddie again, and again he hits!
Here's the voice of your Dallas Mavericks, Chuck Cooperstein.
And welcome to the American Airlines Center as the Mavericks open a very important stretch of games leading into the All-Star break. 8 games against the Western Conference, the first 7 of which involve teams that the Mavericks are fighting with for playoff positioning. And Brian Damaris sitting in for Brad Davis again this evening. I mean, I don't know what else you can say here. Every game seems like it's a must-win for Dallas, and they've got to get this one tonight against the New Orleans team that is really struggling.
They are, and you want to take advantage of that. But as we saw when the Clippers were really struggling when we played them a few weeks ago, it's a day-to-day proposition here in the NBA. But with the West so packed between 4 and 13, really, every game's going to count in the seeding race down the stretch. These are wins at home against a reeling team you have to have.
Yeah, you have to start talking about tiebreakers and things like that. The Mavericks and Pelicans have split their first 2 meetings this season. Mavericks coming off a game on Monday night. Luka, absolutely magnificent. His 5th career 50-point game, 4th of the season, 4th in the last 17 games. He's got to get a little more help, though, doesn't he?
You talked about it with J. Kidd pregame. Don't stand around and watch when he's going up. Elevate your game, and then he's going to be able to get the ball to those guys too. So it's always a balance of how do you stay in rhythm when a guy's hot? Do you want to let him cook, or do you want to also make sure you stay in your own game? And I think J. Kidd wants his players to step up in those moments.
Texas Ford Dealer, key to the game.
Well, we know we're going to have a rebounding advantage, as you talked about in your news and notes. How do you make up for it? Turnovers and threes. We're number 2 in turnovers. The Pelicans are 22nd, and in threes, they shoot the 27th most threes in the NBA. Can we take advantage of that and win the three-point battle?
Yeah, just do it on volume. The Mavericks shoot the 3rd most threes in the NBA. It is time now for the Lexus starting lineups as the Pelicans have already been introduced. It's time for the Mavericks to hit the floor to do the honors. Here's the voice of the American Airlines Center, Sean Heath.
And center in his 9th season from Canada, number 7, DP, Dwight Powell. And guard in his 9th season from Colorado, number 26, Spencer Dinwiddie. And forward in his 10th season from Michigan, number 11, Tim Hardaway Jr. And forward in his 6th season from Florida, number 10, Big Dog Dorian Finney-Smith. And at guard in his 5th season from Slovenia, number 77, Luka Doncic. Your head coach is Jason Kidd.
The Mavericks coming in at 27 and 25. They're a game ahead of the Pelicans, who are 26 and 26, and coached by Willie Green in his 2nd season. The coach of the month in the NBA in the Western Conference in the month of December. The month of January has been a whole lot different as the Pelicans went 3 and 13 in the month of January. And he will start this lineup tonight At one forward, Trey Murphy, 6'9", his second year from Virginia, 12.6 points, 3.7 rebounds. Brandon Ingram, 6'8", in his seventh year from Duke, 20.2 points, 5.1 rebounds, 4.9 assists. Jonas Valanciunas is the center in his 11th year from Lithuania at 6'11", 14.5 points, 15th in the league in rebounding at 9.6 boards per game. In the backcourt, Herb Jones, 6'8", his second year from Alabama, at 10 points, 3.8 rebounds. A terrific defender, averages nearly 1.6 steals a game. He's 12th in the league in that category. And C.J. McCollum, 6'3", in his 10th year from Lehigh, at 21.3 points, 4.4 assists, and 4.4 rebounds, and 5.8 assists, a career high for him. The Mavericks tonight in their navy blue statement uniforms, the white numbers and letters, thin white striping inside of a blue stripe down the sides, Mavs written across the chest. The Mavs shoot to our right in the first half. The Pelicans in their red uniforms tonight, the white numbers and letters, and the blue stripe outlined in old gold down the sides. They'll shoot at the basket to our left. The officials tonight are Kevin Scott, Brent Barnaky, and Leon Wood. Tom Washington, Sean Wright, Danica Mosier at the Replay Center in Secaucus, New Jersey. Mavericks trying to win back-to-back games for the first time in a month. Pelicans trying to stop a 9-game losing streak, which presently is the fourth longest in franchise history. New Orleans wins the tip, and Herb Jones will start things up. And against Luka to his left, to Valanciunas, top of the circle. A bounce to his left, coming around to get it is Ingram. Circles away from Finney-Smith, met by Powell, hangs, banks, and scores from 6 feet at the right of the lane.
Since he's been back, Ingram has not found his rhythm yet. They're trying to get him going early.
Here comes Hardaway for the Mavericks, pushes to Dinwiddie. Takes the handoff to Hardaway as he works to his left. Now Luka comes around left to right and met by McCollum. Now to his left, drags to his right, got to the foul line, into the lane, laid off right corner, bobbled by Hardaway, but recovers and then forces it up short against Murphy, and the rebound taken by McCollum. To Ingram up the right side, to his left against Finney-Smith. Drops it off on the bounce to McCollum. Slowly to his right, cuts to his left at the elbow, wrap around. Valanciunas will shoot a three, and that is short. The rebound tipped out, controlled by Dinwiddie. Valanciunas, a 35% three-point shooter, but has struggled of late as Doncic in the lane from the dotted line off 1 foot ties the game.
You're going to be able to score in the paint on this team.
No shot blockers for the Pelicans. As Valanciunas on the handoff to Jones, he'll drive and spin back right on Doncic. Lost the ball, picked up by Powell. And here comes Luka up the middle. Luka to the top of the arc, met by Jones. Chest pass left to Dinwiddie and back to Doncic. To his left, steps back and over Jones for three. He hits.
There's that three-pointer advantage I was talking about. If you can hit those threes, they don't have a lot of shooting on the other side.
Luka 5 of 11 from deep as part of the 53-point game on Monday against Detroit. The Mavericks a 5-2 lead. Jones to the right wing and a whistle down low. And Brent Barnaky from the baseline calls a foul on Dorian Finney-Smith.
Part of the issue with what the Pelicans are doing, we talked about that three-point rate. They take the third least threes in the league. That means your defense can just pack the paint and dare them to shoot from outside.
Pelicans inbound to Valanciunas. Now 2 for his last 18 from 3 after that miss early. Here is Ingram dropping to Valanciunas against Finney-Smith. Backs him down and bully ball, able to hit the little jump hook at the right of the lane.
Yeah, they really try to get him going early in games. They kind of lose him later in the games, but early in games, they play that post-up game.
Mavericks with a 5-4 lead. Here is Doncic stepping back, 12-footer against Herb Jones, and that settles in.
And again, he's off to a hot start, all 7 of the Mavericks' points.
Well, nothing new there. League's leading first quarter scorer had 24 in the first on Monday night. It's 7-4. Ingram driving left and hangs against Powell over the top right corner. McCollum out to Jones, right wing three. That's way off, and the rebound taken by Hardaway.
You're okay with them taking those shots?
Absolutely. Herb Jones, a 29% three-point shooter. Hardaway in the middle of the floor. Right to Dinwiddie, short corner right. Finney-Smith for three, and that's good.
Nice swing pass, making the extra pass there by Dinwiddie to get out the open Dodo.
Finney-Smith gives the Mavericks a 10-4 lead. McCollum at the right elbow off the curl. That's no good. And Doncic with a rebound. And here comes Luka To his left against Jones, dragging to his right at the foul line in the lane. Whips it back left. Finney Smith met by Ingram. Couldn't shoot it out to Dinwiddie. Shot fake, put it on the floor, and away from McCollum. Ribs the basket from right to left. And the rebound taken by Valanciunas. Quickly ahead to McCollum, driving left through the lane. Bounce past Jones. Left corner three. That's no good. And Dwight Powell all alone for the rebound. Hardaway behind Doncic, but able to retrieve. Luka driving right into the lane, hanging, banking, and scoring, and Herb Jones with no chance against them. It's a 12-2 run for the Mavericks after the Pelicans scored the first point of the game. The Mavericks a 12-4 lead, and Doncic with 9 of those points. Here is Ingram left of the lane, a little in between, rattles in and out from 10. Tipped by Valanciunas, no good. Doncic the rebound.
You can just see how the Pelicans without Zion just have a clunky offense. They just don't know where to go.
Luka against Murphy, stepping back, left corner three. That's short rebound. Swatted out by Powell, taken by McCollum. On the run comes Murphy, met by Dinwiddie, went straight up, and Murphy able to go over him to score. Nicely done.
Murphy's going to be a real key for them. And Murphy Hardaway, who's going to be able to shoot better in this game?
Well, Murphy's an excellent shooter. He really 39.5% from three. Shot 44 from three after the All-Star break last year. Here's Dinwiddie to the left corner, intended for Doncic, stolen by Jones. Now to Murphy, left wing. In the middle, McCollum on the run, and he rattles that in over Powell. And again, that's how the Pelicans really want to play. They want to get the game ratty. They force a bunch of turnovers, 15.5 a game, 6th most in the league. 3rd most points off turnovers at 19.1. Only Toronto and Oklahoma City score more. And a whistle and a defensive 3-second call against New Orleans. Valanciunas in the lane too long as Dinwiddie was trying to back down.
Yeah, I was wondering where the foul call on that was as well, but they're going to get the technical free throw on this.
Oh, they called they called just a Here is the foul shot from Dinwiddie, rolls home. 13-8. Dinwiddie hits the free throw, lob into Powell. Now to Luka, coming around left to right, pick and roll, and up top. And that pass a little too long. Powell makes the save. What a play. Into Finney Smith and behind him to Dinwiddie. Scoops it to Finney Smith, fakes the shot, show and go to the cutting Powell, and he dunks it at the right of the rim.
Great recognition by Finney Smith to find the cutting Powell. Powell with a great move on that vertical, missing the alley-oop, but able to keep the possession going.
Yeah, that was a tremendous save by Dwight Powell underneath, deserving of that basket for the effort. Here is Ingram from left to right at the top of the circle, at the foul line over Powell, and that is way off. The rebound, Valanciunas underneath, and Finney Smith ripped it away from him. I think he just picked up his second foul, and he did. And with that, we have our first timeout of the night taken by the Mavericks with 6:32 remaining in the first quarter. It's the Mavericks 15, the Pelicans 8 on the Dallas Mavericks Radio Network.
Be honest. Since you got up this morning, have you done anything new? Tried any new foods? Listened to new music? Or taken a new route? The good news is the day isn't over.
Hey, Lexus, turn it up.
And the reinvented.
What if a mouse could change the world? If I could ride a runaway railway with Mickey and Minnie? What if there could be a huge party with all my Disneyland friends?
Come celebrate 100 years of Disney during a once-in-a-lifetime celebration at the Disneyland Resort. Both tickets and park reservations required. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
Donate your car today.
This February, Xfinity Flex is unlocking premium entertainment for you to try every single week, no strings attached. Celebrate during Black History Month with shows like Unsung the Decades. Snuggle up during Valentine's Day with a Lifetime Movie Club pick like Harry and Meghan, A Royal Romance. Or crank up the action with Godfather of Harlem from MGM+. Get down and funky with the Classic Soul playlist from iHeartRadio. Easily discover new free content each week across the best streaming app. Say free this week into your Xfinity voice remote.
Lex Brody's in Kalihi has closed. If you're looking for the #1 repair shop in town, visit Starkey's in Kalihi on Dillingham Boulevard. Same-day service available, no appointment necessary for safety checks. Come to Starkey's Auto Repair.
When you stay at a Vrbo, you always get the whole home. Not part of it, but the whole upstairs, the whole downstairs, the whole fridge, the whole backyard, and the whole nap room. Because is it really a vacation home if you have to share it with a host? Only whole vacation homes, always all yours. Book on the Vrbo app.
And when he gets cooking, sometimes it's hard for everybody else to get involved. He was really cooking in the first quarter on Monday night, 24 points of his 53 coming in the first, and already Brian tonight in the first 5.5 minutes of the game, he's got 9 of Dallas's 15.
And you wonder, we talked about the travel issues New Orleans had coming in today. I really don't think that's a huge deal. These players know how to deal with that. But realize the Mavericks didn't practice for 2 days. They were stuck at home during this ice storm as well. So they kind of had to get their sea legs, didn't have a shoot around until this afternoon, right before the game. So kind of odd feeling on both ends. You didn't know how the game would start, but Luka really picking up right where he left off the other night.
As we return, Valanciunas on the line to shoot. Josh Green's checked in to replace Dorian Finney-Smith, who sits down with 2 fouls. That's who's in and who's out, brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. That's what a hamburger is all about. And the second by Valanciunas is good. And the Mavericks lead is 15-10 as Dinwiddie will bring it up. And Trey Murphy will back up to the bottom of the jump circle. Bounce pass to Doncic, right of the circle. Ball behind his head with Herb Jones on him, looking for a cutting Hardaway. Gets it to him. He'll hang, bank it, score it with a foul on Kyra Lewis, who checked in the game out of the timeout for McCollum, and a three-point play chance for Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah, the Mavs are going to take advantage of the fact that there really isn't any rim protection here and try to attack inside, and that was a set play for Hardaway coming around the pick and diving right in.
Hardaway to try to complete the and one to again give the Mavericks an 8-point lead. And he drops it through. The Mavericks 18, New Orleans 10. As we come up on the midway point of the first quarter, Kyra Lewis in the game, this third year from Alabama. He had a good game against the Mavericks here at the beginning of last month. Played 12 minutes, had 12 points. Former first-round pick at the end of the lottery, and Lewis on the drive, and the floater in the lane is short. Doncic with the rebound. Here comes Luka. No-look pass is blocked and stolen by Jones. Here comes Murphy up the right side to Lewis. Left alone for three, and that's short, and Doncic will chase down another rebound.
Since Zion's trade, the Pelicans are 28 in three-point shooting. That is a factor of Zion's not sucking that defense in as much.
Here is Doncic, left to right, drive all the way to the rim, and he missed the layup as he got the screen from Powell. Wanted a foul call, didn't get it. Pelicans run it the other way, and there's Murphy off the lob from Jones to stuff it home in the right of the rim.
Yeah, Ingram hacked him pretty good there, and Doncic is still talking to the refs about it.
As Dinwiddie will work to his right. Stop and go on Lewis. Pushes to Luka at the right wing. Jones bodying up on him. Luka turning left, draws the foul, comes up short. He'll go to the line. And Luka still talking with official Brent Barnaky about it. 2 trips down the floor later.
Yeah, you know what? I like what he's doing, though. He takes his aggression out on the other team instead of the refs. Let's go ahead and draw that foul and get them in foul trouble and get to the line.
They call Lewis for the foul.
You can see Ingram with his left hand very obviously hitting Luka on that play.
First one by Doncic is good. League's leading first quarter scorer at 11.4 points per first quarter.
Well, I said it the other night on the broadcast. If he's not in the 1 or 2 on your list of MVP as we speak now, I don't understand what your criteria is. We could talk about best team on best player. That's not how I do it. It's the best player in the league, and what he's doing is just off the charts.
11 in the first quarter for Doncic. If he scores 37 tonight, he'll retake the scoring lead from Joel Embiid.
And remember, he's not in the lead because of that Phoenix game where he only played 3.5 minutes.
And an offensive foul against the Pelicans. Coming up the floor, Josh Green just got pushed out of the way by Najee Marshall, who had checked in the game on those Doncic free throws. The second turnover by New Orleans is Hardaway into Luka. And two is right off. Powell keeps the dribble and throws it up for Powell with the left hand. Tried to stuff it, missed it as he banked it off the back rim, but he was fouled. I think they're going to say he had control of this.
Oh, there's no question.
And he'll shoot two. Don't say there's no question. Don't go there.
No question to me. I mean, and the rule is once you gather, which means catch it in hand, that is part of the shot. And
yes, as long as it's actually settled in your hand as opposed to trying to tip it in. The foul on Valanciunas, his first, and the free throw by Powell is good. The third team foul on New Orleans. Powell averaging 6.5 points, 4 rebounds. Had 6 offensive rebounds in the game on Monday night. That's a season high for him.
In that pick and roll game, you know, when Luka sucked so much attention from the defense, you got to keep an eye on Powell. If you keep too much focus on Luka, that's what lets that lob open up.
An early 10-point lead for the Mavericks at 22-10. Here's Lewis in the lane, met by Powell, lost the ball, picked up by Doncic. Mavericks have numbers 4 on 3. Luka, right side, Reggie Bullock, wide open 3 is good. And a timeout by Willie Green as the Mavericks have opened up an early 13-point lead tonight. Doncic finding the wide open Bullock, who has been feeling it in his last 9 games, shooting 53% from three-point range. It's a 7-0 run, and the Mavericks with a 25-12 lead, 4:38 remaining in the first on the Dallas Mavericks Radio Network.
Only Dart gives Mavs fans more hoops and less hassle. Now, contactless payment makes writing Dart even easier. Just tap and go. It's everything you love about game day without the game day traffic.
Fly to Philly, take off to Tampa.
What if a mouse could change the world? If I could ride a runaway railway with Mickey and Minnie? What if there could be a huge party with all my Disneyland friends?
Come celebrate 100 years of Disney during a once-in-a-lifetime celebration at the Disneyland Resort. Both tickets and park reservations required. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
This February, Xfinity Flex is unlocking premium entertainment for you to try every single week, no strings attached. Celebrate during Black History Month with shows like Unsung the Decades. Snuggle up during Valentine's Day with a Lifetime Movie Club pick like Harry and Meghan, A Royal Romance. Or crank up the action with Godfather of Harlem from MGM+. Get down and funky with the Classic Soul playlist from iHeartRadio. Easily discover new free content each week across the best streaming app. Say free this week into your Xfinity voice remote.
Lex Brody's in Kalihi has closed. If you're looking for the #1 repair shop in town, visit Starkey's in Kalihi on Dillingham Boulevard. Same-day service available. No appointment necessary for safety checks. Come to Starkey's Auto Repair.
This week, your neighborhood grocery outlet has a great deal on chicken that you won't want to miss. Stop by for Sanderson Farms boneless, skinless chicken breast fillets. Family packs are just $1.99 a pound. That's a savings of up to 60% versus traditional grocery stores. Also, try an on-the-go snack with Nature Valley granola bars. 12-count assorted varieties are just $2.99, a savings of up to 67%. Offers good through February 7th.
Grocery Outlet Bargain Market.
At the half, Cavaliers lead the Grizzlies 67-54. Darius Garland, 19 points and 9 assists. Early third quarter, Knicks lead the Heat 53-48. Julius Randle with 19. And with about 3 minutes to go in the first half, the Bulls in front of the Hornets 50-43. Later on, it's Golden State at Denver and the Clippers at Milwaukee. Chuck.
A great start for the Mavericks tonight, 25-12. They have the lead, 4:38 remaining in the first quarter. Pelicans have it shooting to our left. Kyra Lewis across the line on the right. Play by Josh Green. And wanting a screen to be set. It's not set. Lewis is pounding it to the left. Boy, they are so disorganized offensively right now. Now Ingram driving, got around Bullock, met by Powell. Just threw it off the board with the left hand, and Doncic with the rebound. A good challenge by Powell, but a terrible possession for New Orleans.
Yeah, and Kyra Lewis is in there because that's usually Devontae Graham's minutes. It's interesting to see how that's going to play out the rest of the game.
Here is Doncic, top of the arc, against Larry Nance, stepping back for three. Front rimmed it. And the rebound to Najee Marshall of New Orleans. Up the right side of the hop. Drops it to Nance, who's checking the game out of the timeout. To Ingram, to his right. Swings it left Jones. Bobbled it, recovers. Left corner to Lewis. 9 on the clock. To the top to Ingram. Back to Lewis, trying to drive. And gets underneath the rim and scores it. Pretty finish on the reverse against Dwight Powell.
Talk about some of these offensive woes. Without Zion, who played a point forward a lot of time, they really don't have someone who can run their offense for them.
Hardaway, Luka, middle of the floor. Left now against Nance. As he measures him between his legs on the hop, the bump, the spin at the foul line, he hits.
He's so good at just getting a player in space, and if that player moves up an inch, it's going to draw a foul. If he doesn't, he's going to shoot right over.
Just the ability to create a space. And talking about the pregame with Antonio Daniels, his ability just to use angles and footwork. Steal for the Mavs. There's Josh Green with a huge dunk off a beautiful lob from Hardaway.
And that is them moving fast, getting a fast break points, and the athleticism of Green to go up and get that.
The Mavericks 29 and the Pelicans 14. 2:45 remaining in the first. Marshall circling right to left and on the run. That's no good. Tipped by Nance, no good. Hardaway the rebound. It's a 14-4 run for the Mavericks right now. Luka, left wing, step back, three-pointer down.
That is his spot. You've seen it over and over, Chuck.
Another 15-point quarter for Doncic. Herb Jones, offensive foul, knocked over Doncic, and he's feeling it right now.
He brings it on the defensive end. How many superstars do you see put their body in there to draw a charge?
Doncic, his 19th 15-point-plus quarter of the season. Giannis and Jason Tatum have 20 to lead the NBA. Luka could tie it, depending on what happens in the second half tonight, or even in he gets hot at the end of the second quarter after he sits down for a while. 32-14. 2:20 remaining in the first. As New Orleans with a line change to try to get themselves settled down. Doncic wants a screen from Davis Bertans, who's checked in. To his left, now against Nance. Gets the matchup he wants. Here's the double from Lewis. Gave it up to Bertans. A bounce to his left for a pull-up three. That's good.
Yeah, there's the Latvian laser. Followell is doing his...
35-14 with a minute 55 remaining in the first, and a foul against the Mavericks. Then get Josh Green for a foul against Larry Nance.
And that is one issue where Josh Green got to work on the fouls. If he gets more and more minutes, got to stay out of foul trouble. Of course, that's only his first.
This is a 17-2 run for the Mavericks right now. They're up by 21. McCollum at the right wing as he's checked back in against Green. No look down low for Nance. He got Luka up in the air and he dunks it. Nice play by Larry Nance.
Without Powell in there, even though Bertans is in the game, they're technically playing small. It's a defense that can run out and play more aggressively.
Yeah, there's no shot blocker, though, around the rim to try to challenge somebody like Nance. Rebounding, always an issue. Here is Luka way outside on the left. Against Nance now, measuring him back and forth between his legs left to right on the drive to the rim and got fouled. He'll go to the line as we pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Dallas Mavericks Radio Network.
Your home for Dallas Mavericks basketball. KEGL Fort Worth, Dallas.
97.1.
97.1 The Freak.
We say what we want.
So Doncic on the line. A sizzling first quarter for the Mavericks. 12 of 17 overall. 5 of 7 from three. And Doncic, 73% for the season, hits the first one.
The challenge of guarding Doncic is if you have any weak defender on your roster, he's going to attack you in the pick and roll. He's just going to wait, bring up the right guy, and get him. And you see him on Nance. He wants it every single time, and there's nothing that the Pelicans can do to stop him.
Don't miss the Mavs watch party on Saturday at 7 o'clock at Four Corners in Dallas for the Mavericks and Golden State Warriors. Join fellow MFFLs for ticket giveaways and more. For details, visit Mavs.com/watch parties. It's an 18-point first quarter for Doncic. The Mavericks 37, the Pelicans 16. Here's McCollum driving left, turning back right against Josh Green, and able to score as he tumbles through the lane. Nice finish by C.J. McCollum. Pretty good challenge there by Green. 37-18. Luka left to right. Again against Nance. Stepping back straight away. Three. Rims the basket and the rebound to Lewis of New Orleans. Here comes Lewis. Right to McCollum. Around Green. And the runner over Doncic. Bank no good. Luka the rebound. 6 rebounds for Doncic in the quarter as he runs. Coming straight down the lane and to the rim, and he's fouled.
What I like about this quarter as opposed to the first quarter Monday night, Luka had a great quarter, but not the rest of the Mavs did. The rest of the Mavs still playing up, and he's not having to do everything. Only 18, the Mavericks have 37.
Well, we've been waiting for that game, Brian, haven't we, where everybody is on. It seems like Luka might be on and another one might be on, but it's almost like playing whack-a-mole to find somebody that's going to be good every single night as Doncic misses the first foul shot short.
This is the best version of the Mavs. When Luka's on and everybody else is contributing too. Their half-court offense is the best in the NBA by far. And if they can elevate that to even greater degree, then you can compensate until your defense is able to recover.
44.3 seconds remaining in the first quarter as Doncic trying for his 19th point. He has it. 38-18 as McCollum straight away against Bullock. Euro stepping right. The floater is good over Josh Green. That's a couple of nice finishes by C.J. McCollum in the lane.
McCollum trying to start to take over now in the absence of anybody else really playing well.
38-20. Luka way outside. Here's the screen from Bertans. Slips it. Now one-on-one with Nance. Measuring them, in and out, between his legs again, got around him to the rim, score it. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable what he does to people when he gets them in the blender like that.
He loves seeing Nance out there. It's kind of like Zubac.
40-20. Alvarado to the right, and here is a pass through the lane by Murphy. That's knocked away by Green out of bounds with 0.8 of a second remaining in the first quarter.
Another 20-point quarter for Luka, now 21, and as you mentioned, 6 boards and 3 assists. That's a normal game for most people.
Absolutely amazing. Now down low, oh man, and a monster finish by Larry Nance off the inbound, and that will count to end the first quarter of play, but a dynamic first quarter for the Mavericks, their highest scoring first quarter of the season. The prior high, 39 against Memphis in the second game of the season. The Mavericks after one with a 40-22 lead over New Orleans on the Dallas Mavericks radio network. This is Chuck Cooperstein. UT Dallas is on a winning streak. #1 public university in North Texas and 24 top 50 nationally ranked academic programs by U.S. News and World Report. UT.
What if a mouse could change the world? If I could ride a runaway railway with Mickey and Minnie? What if there could be a huge party with all my Disneyland friends?
Come celebrate 100 years of Disney during a once-in-a-lifetime celebration at the Disneyland Resort. Both tickets and park reservations required. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
Hi, I'm Ryan Reynolds. As owner of Mint Mobile, I couldn't wait to make my first commercial for iHeart listeners. I thought, I'll tell them to go to mintmobile.com/iHeart to get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Then I thought, they'll never believe the owner bragging, so I'll bring on a real Mint customer who knows it's premium wireless for just $15 a month. Then I thought, how will they know it's not just me acting as a customer? Then I thought, what if they don't think I'm a good enough actor to play a customer? Then I cried and went to bed at the end.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
This February, Xfinity Flex is unlocking premium entertainment for you to try every single week, no strings attached. Celebrate during Black History Month with shows like Unsung the Decades. Snuggle up during Valentine's Day with a Lifetime Movie Club pick like Harry and Meghan, A Royal Romance. Or crank up the action with Godfather of Harlem from MGM+. Get down and funky with the Classic Soul playlist from iHeartRadio. Easily discover new free content each week across the best streaming app. Say free this week into your Xfinity voice remote.
And Luka Doncic with his 5th 20-point quarter of the season. And that now leads the NBA. He had been tied with Kyrie Irving of the Nets. 4 of those 20-point quarters, Brian, in the first quarter.
The Pelicans outscored Luka 22-18, but the key here, the Mavericks out-rebounding 10-8, and the Pelicans 0-4 from 3.
No, that was 22-21. Luka had 21 in the
excuse
quarter.
me.
You're shortchanging him. You can't do that. Here is Finney Smith back in the game with 2 fouls from left elbow. Back out to Spencer Dinwiddie. To his left corner, Bullock bobbles, 3 to shoot. To Dinwiddie, left sideline, deep threes, a brick, and the rebound batted out by Bertans. Picked up by Finney Smith. To Green in the right corner. Green backing down on Alvarado, spinning in the lane and scoring. Pretty move by Josh Green.
You talked about it with Jay Kidd in pregame. These non-Luka minutes are going to be important.
Well, it turned the game around on Monday night against the Pistons. Mavericks with some padding tonight with the huge lead. As Alvarado, midway between the sidelines, the curling McCollum right to left, laid off on the no-look, and Nance missed the layup. Nance got the rebound in the lane against Finney Smith. Back out to Murphy for 3. That's short. Rebound tipped out by Nance to half court to Alvarado. Swings to the right, McCollum. Left to right, back to his left. Green stayed with him, making give it up. Alvarado shot fake, got by Dinwiddie. Floater in the lane is good. Jose Alvarado in his second year out of Georgia Tech.
They may have some cushion, but you don't want to give a young team life.
42-24. A minute 20 into the second quarter. Dinwiddie against Nance. Right to Finney Smith. Back to Dinwiddie. Backing up on his dribble. Now driving to his left. On the drive reversing. That's blocked by Nance. Taken down by Alvarado. On the run and to the rim. And the throwdown. And he hurt the rim. Did Najee Marshall with a left hand. 42-26. Dinwiddie from right to left. Backs up, now back right with Bullock screening. Gaining the switch against McCollum. Across the way to Bertans. From the left hash mark, hits the 3. Way downtown.
Way downtown. That was from Colleen.
Second 3 for Bertans, shooting 36% from 3 this year. The Mavericks 45, the Pelicans 26.
You can tell I went to Baylor by mentioning Colleen as the suburb from way downtown.
Here's a pass behind Nance, and that's stolen by Dinwiddie. It's 5-on-2. Oh, nice play. No look, Bertans to Finney Smith. He got fouled. They didn't call it. And the rebound taken by Alvarado. Then Marshall, and he's fouled by Dinwiddie, and he'll go to the line.
Boy, it really was a nice move by Bertans to get it to Dinwiddie. To Dodo, but it didn't call the foul. And then they do call the foul on Dinwiddie on the other end.
And Dinwiddie with the palms up, wondering. As Jaden Hardy at the scorer's table, ready to check in after the first of these Najee Marshall free throws. 6-7 in his third year from Xavier of Ohio, averaging 10.1 points. Had a 24-point game against the Mavericks here last month, a career high for him. As Hardy checks in to replace Josh Green, as we tell you that this Valentine's Day, you can show your loved one how much they mean to you with a surprise gift delivery from Champion Mavs Man. Be the hero of Valentine's Day. Gift delivery also available for other occasions. Reserved today at Mavs.com. The second free throw missed, and the rebound taken down by Bertans.
I might have to do that for my girl. I'm in the doghouse.
It's a different way.
Yes.
To show how much you love her. Here is Dinwiddie on the drive. Behind her, and Bertans, he checked 3, down it goes from 23.
When he's hot, he's hot. He's there to shoot and score, and he is not shy about it.
48-27, the Mavericks 7 3-pointer of the half and 11 attempts, 20-footer right side, McCollum good, and a foul underneath against the Pelicans. Leon Wood calls the foul against Larry Nance.
I believe no basket.
No, they call it.
They call it.
It was after the ball was released. 48-29. The first team foul on New Orleans. Here is Dinwiddie against McCollum. Stop and go, hanging, and draws the foul on McCollum, who took a shot on the right hip. Second foul on McCollum.
Dinwiddie drawing more fouls as he's been penetrating later into the season.
Yeah, he really over the last month has looked more like the Dinwiddie that we had seen prior to his arrival in Dallas, and he has managed to keep the three-point shooting that he developed once he came to Dallas, and he's become a much more complete player as a result.
I think a lot of it, without Brunson now, he became the number 2 guy, and I think there was an adjustment period of having to be the man running the non-Luka minutes and adjusting to a role where you're the second guy in the Luka minutes, and it just took him a while to get that, but I think he's the second most important player on this team because of exactly what I said. He's got to be the secondary playmaker with Luka on the floor and run the team when he's off the floor.
2 free throws for Dinwiddie.
Bertans heading to the locker room.
Yep, as Dwight Powell has come back in. We'll get word from the Maverick bench as soon as we can, as McCollum inside the arc, right of the lane, back out to Alvarado. Fakes the shot, drives, got around Bullock. Nice bounce pass to a cutting Nance for a dunk at the front of the rim. Nance does know how to weak side cut. He's got 6, 50-31. Dinwiddie along the right side. Alvarado reaching, can't get it to him as he pulls up from the right elbow. Front rimmed it. Rebound off the floor taken by Nance in New Orleans. Here comes Larry Nance. Backwards to McCollum. Left to right drive. Lost the handle. Came right to Bullock. Turnover number 7 for New Orleans. And Dinwiddie trying to get it to Hardy. The ball kicked.
That is a legal version of a take foul.
Yes.
Where you just kick the ball in transition to stop play.
Mavericks with 13 points off of the previous 6 New Orleans mistakes. And again, that has not been a big part of the Mavericks game really since the first month of the season. Not forcing a lot of turnovers, not a lot of points off turnovers, but a very good percentage. If they do force them, Jaden Hardy in the right corner for 3, it's no good. And Alvarado with the rebound as he runs it up to the top of the arc. To the trailing Marshall, backs up on the dribble, left off of Valanciunas, in and out to his right, and from behind the dotted line, the runner is no good, but he's fouled. And Jaden Hardy gets called for the foul.
Alvarado, of course, made his name a couple years ago in the playoffs against Phoenix with
last year
against Chris Paul in that first round. David Griffin, I think, is one of the best GMs in the league and really has built a nice roster here. He had kind of a rocky start, but once he got Zion, made some smart moves. Alvarado, Herb Jones, Valanciunas trade, Steven Adams. They're in a good position, and we'll see if they make a deal here at the deadline.
And now a timeout on the floor, and I think they're going to review what happened here. And I'm not exactly sure what they're going to review. I apologize. We'll
coach's challenge.
Figure that out momentarily. So a coach's challenge. Jason Kidd taking that. With 7:42 remaining in the first half, the Mavericks 50, the Pelicans 31 on the Dallas Mavericks Radio Network.
Your home is your castle, and keeping our families healthy and safe has never been more important. Let Baker Brothers Plumbing, Air, and Electric help. Baker Brothers is known for great service, but we have great deals too. Call now and receive a free estimate on HEPA and UV air filtration systems. A combination of HEPA filtration and
What if a mouse could change the world? If I could ride a runaway railway with Mickey and Minnie? What if there could be a huge party with all my Disneyland friends?
Come celebrate 100 years of Disney during a once-in-a-lifetime celebration at the Disneyland Resort. Both tickets and park reservations required. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
This February, Xfinity Flex is unlocking premium entertainment for you to try every single week, no strings attached. Celebrate during Black History Month with shows like Unsung the Decades. Snuggle up during Valentine's Day with a Lifetime Movie Club pick like Harry and Meghan, A Royal Romance. Or crank up the action with Godfather of Harlem from MGM Plus. Get down and funky with the Classic Soul playlist from iHeartRadio. Easily discover new free content each week across the best streaming app. Say free this week into your Xfinity voice remote.
Want to know one of the most successful investment opportunities during both a recession and an economic boom? Hint, it's where you shop every day. Grocery store anchored commercial real estate. With over $1.5 billion in assets, First National Realty Partners offers investors access to institutional quality real estate, featuring national brand tenants such as Walmart, Kroger, Whole Foods, and many others. See what over 2,000 investors are earning on annual returns and quarterly cash distribution checks from professionally vetted commercial real estate investments. Speak with the investor relations team. Call 888-301-9010. That's 888-301-9010. Or visit fnrpradio.com. That's fnrpradio.com. Results are not guaranteed with the risk of losing your principal. Securities are only available to verified accredited investors. Any representations as to stability, diversification, security, or resistance to inflation reflect our belief in such outcomes and may or may not be realized. Cash distributions are not guaranteed. Past performance is not an indicator of future results. Visit us at fnrpradio.com.
More today. Here's Kevin Scott after the coach's challenge.
After a review call, the floor has been overturned, so no call. There was no illegal contact committed by any Dallas defender. Offensive player's foot returns to the floor, and there's incidental contact. In the immediate aftermath of the whistle, Dallas would have obtained possession of the basketball. Therefore, it'll be Dallas ball in the backcourt, 24 on the shot clock. Challenge is unsuccessful.
Well, the challenge was successful, Kevin Scott.
Yeah, Marshall went up. Hardy didn't even touch him. Neither did Powell. There really was no foul in the call.
No, that was right out of the Lee Strasberg School of Acting, the Method School of Acting, and very well played by Marshall, but the eagle eyes in Secaucus would not allow it.
I didn't know you were such a thespian.
Not me. Just heard of Lee Strasberg. Here is Powell underneath, and he's hammered by Ingram.
And that was a foul. Interesting to use the challenge so early. I'm more of a fan of keeping it late. This game is.
I think they feel like they've got this thing under control and figured they could take it early tonight.
And it was so obvious that they knew it because it happened right in front of the Mavericks bench.
Brandon Ingram gets called for the foul. Dwight Powell is on the line. And the first one is good. By the way, the Mavericks now have split their 22 challenges this season, 11-11.
Good news so far. The Mavericks 12 of 13 from the line. We've talked about the issues with the free throw shooting all season. This is a good game so far.
Well, they've had everything going their way so far tonight. And the Mavericks, again, with a 21-point lead at 52-31, 7:20 remaining in the first half. Ingram outside the arc, left of the circle against Finney Smith. To his right, Finney Smith over the screen. Ingram keeps the dribble, spins to his left. From the dotted line, shot it on the way down. That's no good. Rebound, batted around, controlled by Finney Smith. Very good defense by Finney Smith there against Ingram. And Ingram 1 of 5 tonight, really struggling to find his form after missing 29 games. Dinwiddie turning on Alvarado, got it stripped and then got it back. 8 to shoot to the right of the lane, and from 80 hits it over Alvarado.
Yeah,
used his height advantage well there at 6'5" against the 6-foot Alvarado.
Not distracted by losing control of the ball. It just hits it right over.
Word from the Maverick bench. Davis Bertans, a left calf strain. He will not return. And with that basket by Dinwiddie, a timeout by Willie Green in New Orleans, 6:47 remaining in the first half. Mavericks' biggest lead of the night, 54-31 over the Pelicans on the Dallas Mavericks radio network.
Great medical care, like great basketball, takes teamwork and a commitment to being the very best. At UT Southwestern Medical Center, they're on a mission of healing, discovery, and education, and the ultimate victory is your good health. That focus has earned UT Southwestern the #1 hospital ranking.
Lex Brody's in Kalihi has closed. If you're looking for the #1 repair shop in town, visit Starkey's in Kalihi on Dillingham Boulevard. Same-day service available, no appointment necessary for safety checks. Come to Starkey's Auto Repair.
What if a mouse could change the world? If I could ride a runaway railway with Mickey and Minnie? What if there could be a huge party with all my Disneyland friends?
Come celebrate 100 years of Disney during a once-in-a-lifetime celebration at the Disneyland Resort. Both tickets and park reservations required. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
1877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
Donate your car today.
Basketball. Midway through the third quarter, Cavaliers lead the Grizzlies 81-76. Early fourth, Knicks lead the Heat 77-72. In the third, Bulls all over the Hornets 63-49. And midway through the first quarter, Golden State leading at Denver 18-17. Coming up at 9 o'clock, the Clippers in Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. Chuck.
Pelicans with the ball out of the timeout. 6:47 remaining in the first half, down 54-31. Valanciunas lost the ball. Powell right to the floor to pick it up and got it to Hardy. Turnovers have killed the Pelicans here in the first half as Dinwiddie on the drive has that blocked by Jones from behind. It's out of bounds off of Valanciunas. The Mavericks will keep it. 8 turnovers for the Pelicans here in the first half.
And they start with deflections, active hands. Hardy was the one who got the deflection to lead that turnover.
Baseline left inbound, Dinwiddie into Hardy in the left corner. And now to Powell on the handoff to Hardy. Deep left side, 20-footer is good.
People are clamoring for more minutes for Hardy. It's going to be a matter of
here's a
Ripley
steal.
produces.
Cross-court pass. Finney-Smith steals it, pulls up, knocks down a three for the right wing.
Another turnover leading to buckets for the Mavs.
59-31. Midway through the second quarter, Alvarado wrap around to Valanciunas, into Alvarado. To his right, on the drive, and the floater way off. Rebound, Valanciunas underneath, lays it up, no good, too hard. Rebound, knocked away from Valanciunas, got it back. Out to Murphy, to the top to Ingram. Right to Jones, he travels. Another turnover from the Pelicans.
Boy, the Pelicans in a bad way. You mentioned the turnovers. 18 points off turnovers so far for the Mavericks.
Now, you can't do a whole lot better than that. 2 points for every turnover that you force as Doncic comes back in the game for the Mavericks.
He gets a nice rest, not having to come in until the 5:40 mark.
59-31, Dinwiddie will operate. On the arena logo on the right side of the floor. Powell screen to the right. Dinwiddie goes that way. Fakes going left and then pulls up from the right of the lane. He hits it with a foul and a chance for 3. It's an 11-0 run for the Mavericks with a chance for 12 as Dinwiddie will go to the line.
How nice would it be to just have a nice, easy win tonight, Chuck? Rest everybody in the fourth, like you talked about with Kidd pregame, especially going into this tough stretch starting Saturday in Golden State.
Oh, goodness.
Especially how good Golden State is at home compared to the road.
Yeah, the Mavericks have had precious few laughers, and hopefully this will be one of them. It is shaping up that way. Their lead is 31, 62-31. A 12-0 run for the Mavericks. Alvarado fouled by Dinwiddie, cutting to his left.
You mentioned, Mike mentioned LeBron. When do you think he's going to break the record at this pace?
So what, 89 minus 26. I'm trying to do math here. That's 63. I'd say there's whatever that third game is. That's probably, I think that's Milwaukee.
Milwaukee Thursday night. I agree with you. I think that's the game most likely. Of course, a week later he's going to be here, but
exactly.
I don't think it's going to last that long.
Here is Alvarado, right corner to Jones, and fouled by Doncic, blocking foul on Luka. Third team foul against the Mavericks.
Luka raised his hand and admitted the foul. I like that.
Certainly the height of a coincidence that he would pass, LeBron would pass Kareem, where Kareem began it all, in Milwaukee. Out top, three-pointer Alvarado, no good. Tipped ahead from Hardy to Doncic. And here comes Luka. For Powell running the floor, makes the catch underneath the basket, turned back by Valanciunas at the right of the lane. And now to Luka against Ingram, got away from him, into Valanciunas, over the top, threw it away. Jones the steal. And to the left, Murphy on the run. And Murphy put it on up and in with a foul on Hardy and a chance at a three-point play. And Doncic had the right idea, but Herb Jones actually outthought Luka on that pass.
Yeah, it was good recognition of where he thinks Luka wants to go. He knows we like to take corner threes. We take the more than anybody in the NBA, and he was right there for the steal.
Second steal of the game. Hardaway checks back in for the Mavericks. Josh Green's going to come back in as well. Dinwiddie and Finney-Smith will sit down.
I like the initial pass by Luka, though. Play ahead, go a little faster. See if that'll work with Powell.
And Murphy on the line to try to complete the and one, second in the NBA in free throw shooting at 92.3% behind Kevin Durant. But that only the 92nd free throw that he's attempted all year, but still among the qualifiers. 62-34. Doncic against Jones. To Hardaway and back to Doncic. Screen by Powell. He rolls. Luka keeps it. Whips it left corner. Wide open. Hardy for three. Rims the basket. Ingram the rebound. And Ingram up the right side. With Powell backing up on the pass. He finds an open Jones in the left corner for three. It's good.
First three-pointer made for the Pelicans tonight. I mentioned it earlier since Zion's been out. Third worst three-point shooting team in the NBA.
Now, 1 of 7 from three are the Pelicans with that Jones make. 62-37. Luka on the drive. Around Ingram and threw it away again. Picked off by Murphy along the baseline. Left to right to Ingram on the gallop. That by Hardy. Foul by Hardy. And he misses short from 10. He'll go to the line to shoot.
And good defensive recognition on what the Mavs like to do when he's penetrating. He's either going to shoot that ball or try to find somebody in the corner, and they're in those passing lanes.
Well, also, you do get to a point, and we see this all the time, Brian, in the NBA. It is hard to play with a big lead a lot of times, especially when you get it as easily as the Mavericks have gotten it tonight. There can be a little lull. You just don't want that lull to be of any real significance.
Yeah, you can take your foot off the gas and you start playing an autopilot. But when you got number 77 there, he hasn't scored yet. He's only been in the game for a minute and 40 seconds, but of this second quarter, he hasn't scored yet in the second quarter. But you do have a high floor there. He's not going to let him play like that for too long.
2 free throws for Brandon Ingram. It's 62-39. It's an 8-0 run for New Orleans with 4 minutes remaining in the first half. As Josh Green will bring it up, left sideline to Bullock. Drop it down to Luka inside the arc at the break. And ripping through, Jones knocked it away, and it's out of bounds. And that's well played by Herb Jones. He is an elite perimeter defender in a league that has precious few elite perimeter defenders.
Yeah, he doesn't get near enough credit for what he can do on the defensive end. And Hardaway slips and falls, and so the ball goes out of bounds, and it's going to be New Orleans ball.
Yeah, that's 3 consecutive turnovers now for the Mavericks. And Dallas with 5 turnovers here in the first half. 7 New Orleans points off the prior 4. 3:40 remaining in the half. Ingram right of the jump circle. Screened by Valanciunas. On the move to the right of the lane. And a whistle and an offensive foul on Ingram with the shove of Hardaway.
Yeah, pretty clear shove with his left hand there, left arm.
And yet another Pelicans turnover.
They're 11th of the game.
5 in the first, 6 here in the second. As Luka will bring it up for the Mavericks. Shooting to our right against Herb Jones. Bounces to Powell at the top of the arc. Green screening for Doncic. Luka has to back up to get the ball from Powell. Works left, now to his right, in the lane. Valanciunas keeps backing up, and Luka makes him pay. I mean, there's only so far that you can really back up, right, Brian? And you got to come to him. As the Pelicans try a long lob to Murphy that went off the board, and the rebound chased down by Doncic.
The Pelicans give up the worst percentage of shooting in the restricted area, 72%. You saw an example of it right there.
Hardaway on the drive, protects the ball, floats it up, no good off the right of the rim. Valanciunas, his 7th rebound. To McCollum up the right side, in and out to his right against Green, right corner. Jones for 3, way off. Bullock the rebound. He'll hand it to Hardaway, and he'll drop it to Doncic. 2:45 remaining in the half. Mavericks 64, Pelicans 39. Luka right off of Powell, keeps the dribble at the block, and everybody backed away from him. They just backed away from him, and he banked it in from 6 feet.
You play at Luka's pace. If he gets you behind him in the pick and roll, you are out of the play as a defender.
Doncic makes it 66-39. Left elbow Ingram, right elbow Valanciunas, wouldn't shoot it. Right corner Jones, out to McCollum. To his right off Valanciunas, right elbow pull-up is short. Rebound tipped by Bullock, controlled by Valanciunas underneath. Will turn, that's no good. And the rebound to Bullock finally.
That's the second bunny Valanciunas has missed in this quarter.
Valanciunas now 1 out of 5 from the floor. Hardaway, right wing three off the back rim, online but long. And the rebound to Murphy of New Orleans with a minute 50 remaining in the half. To Ingram, right to left drive, spinning right into Powell to the trailing Valanciunas behind him, picked up by Green, driving on Murphy, Euro stepping him, lays it up and in.
Nice job finishing there, getting that Euro step. Green has had some issues finishing in traffic, but it completes that fast break.
Another turnover, 2 more points off turnovers, 25 first half points off turnovers for the Mavericks. As Ingram, 15-footer right elbow is good. 6 for Brandon Ingram.
And it's hard for the Pelicans to come back if they don't shoot threes. They're 1 of 8, and they shoot the third least three-pointers as a percentage of all their shots in the NBA. When you're down this big, it's just hard to come back.
Here's Luka to his right off Powell. Keeps the dribble, hangs, Bacon, scoring with a foul, and a chance at a three-point play for Doncic. Looking for point number 28 of the first half.
Bending the defense to what he wants to do, finding the player he wants to attack. Puts Jones right on his back and then attacks Valanciunas.
The Mavericks' high game this year for points off turnovers came against Miami. They had 31 points off turnovers in that game. They have 25 here in the first half.
You saw in that play, he was attacking Valanciunas. Valanciunas is so worried about Powell on the alley-oops, he doesn't attack up front to stop Luka, and Luka just shoots right over him.
Doncic missed the free throw. Nance the rebound as he's checked in for Valanciunas. Brandon Ingram outside the arc, right of the circle. Puts it on the floor against Finney Smith. Laid off left corner. Jones will try a three. That's no good. Rebound on the weak side taken by Bullock.
Mavericks going to keep letting him shoot those threes.
Say Ingram's a good three-point shooter, too, and he's not looking to shoot those. Luka behind the back from the lane. Out top to Bullock. Left corner, Hardaway, three way off. And the rebound to Ingram. Doncic trying to poke it away. He does, but it goes up toward the midcourt line where it's picked up by Ingram. To Nance over the shoulder left corner to Murphy. He'll drive and kick. Ingram, shot fake to the right elbow. Flyby by Green, and he hits the jumper.
You're right about Ingram, though. I would like to see him shoot more threes. He does settle for some mid-range a little too much.
He's a 40% three-point shooter. He shot 39 a couple of years ago. He didn't shoot it very well from deep last year, but he's got some wide-open shots that he really needs to take. 70-43, 5 seconds remaining. Bullock, right corner, Hardaway, rise and fire three. No good off the right of the rim as the first half comes to an end. And just what you would hope against a team that, number one, Brian, has been struggling, having lost 9 consecutive games, and having gone through the mess that they've gone through the last 48 hours trying to get here. The Mavericks putting the wood to the Pelicans in the first half with a 70-43 lead.
It's the opposite of what we saw Monday against a team you should have had an easy time with in Detroit. This time they do what they need to do in this first half, and hopefully they can put it away in the third and rest everybody in the fourth.
57% shooting for the Mavericks. And indeed, like Monday night, Luka's the only Maverick in double figures, but in the first half on Monday, the Mavericks had only 53 points. They got 70 tonight, so he's got a lot more help. Luka 27, 7, and 3 with 2 steals on 10 of 14 shooting. 8 points for Dinwiddie, 9 for Davis Bertans before he left with a calf strain and is not returning tonight. No one in double figures for the Pelicans, who shot 44% and just 1 of 9 from 3. 8 points for both Ingram and McCollum to lead New Orleans. Halftime at the American Airlines Center as the Mavericks looking for back-to-back wins for the first time in a month and trying to send the Pelicans to their 10th consecutive loss. They lead the game 70-43. Mike Peasley at the Modelo Sports Desk with highlights in the first half and the rest of the day and night in the NBA, including the announcement of the All-Star reserves. Coming your way next on the Dallas Mavericks Radio Network.
In 1925, Modelo began brewing beer for those who believe in better. A model beer, steeped in the tradition of tireless effort. A rich Pilsner-style lager for those who wear their heart and heritage in their rolled-up sleeve.
What if a mouse could change the world? If I could ride a runaway railway with Mickey and Minnie. What if there could be a huge party with all my Disneyland friends?
Come celebrate 100 years of Disney during a once-in-a-lifetime celebration at the Disneyland Resort. Both tickets and park reservations required. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
1877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
Donate your car today.
This February, Xfinity Flex is unlocking premium entertainment for you to try every single week, no strings attached. Celebrate during Black History Month with shows like Unsung the Decades. Snuggle up during Valentine's Day with a Lifetime Movie Club pick like Harry and Meghan, A Royal Romance. Or crank up the action with Godfather of Harlem from MGM+. Get down and funky with the Classic Soul playlist from iHeartRadio. Easily discover new free content each week across the best streaming app. Say free this week into your Xfinity voice remote.
Lex Brody's in Kalihi has closed. If you're looking for the #1 repair shop in town, visit Starkey's in Kalihi on Dillingham Boulevard. Same-day service available. No appointment necessary for safety checks. Come to Starkey's Auto Repair.
What do you get with a $100 million renaissance? A timeless hideaway in the heart of Death Valley National Park. Now better than ever. Visit Oasis at deathvalley.com.
Welcome to a late night edition of What If, the show where I, Jake from State Farm, answer your insurance what ifs. We've got Sean on the line. What's up?
Hey, Jake, what if I'm too stressed about my coverage to sleep? Like, what if I don't have enough? Or what if I need to change it?
Oh, if you can't sleep, just give us a ring. We're available 24/7. At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs.
Oh, great. What if I just take a little nap?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Did you know that generic drugs are just as safe and effective as brand name drugs? Generics might look different, but they work the same way. And they can even save you money. Don't believe me? Ask your doctor or pharmacist. Or visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
I'm Dave Hines, and now here's this week's iHeartRadio countdown of the top trending songs. We start off again with Beach Weather, notching a second week at number 5 with Sex, Drugs, Etc.
You socialized, romanticized
Weezer down a spot from last week, but they still have the number 4 song. It's Records. All Time Low also cooling off a spot to number 3 with Sleepwalking.
Till I don't sleep walking when you're gone. Wide awake, but it just feels wrong. Stay in bed till the whole year's gone.
And our biggest move of the week is from Paramore, jumping up 2 spots to land at number 2 with This Is Why.
This is why I don't leave the house. You say the coast is clear, but you won't catch me out.
But Blink-182 still owns this thing. 14 weeks at number 1, Edging.
When it's time to lose control, no, I leave the broken hearted. Oh, no, look at the mess we started.
And those are your top trending songs of the week. Hear them all on iHeartRadio.
To 43 as the Mavericks try to extending the Pelicans' losing streak to 10 in a row. What can you say about Luka Doncic coming off the 53-point performance on Monday? He dropped in 27 in the first half tonight to go along with 7 rebounds and 3 assists as the Mavericks shooting 57% from the field. They're 8 of 17 from 3, 14 of 16 at the free throw line. Mavs out rebounded by 3, but they were able to force 13 turnovers that they turned into 25 points. There's the story for the Pelicans. Nobody into double figures. They're shooting 44%. They are just 1 of 9 from 3, 6 of 7 at the free throw line. All right, let's check out some of the first half highlights here in this one because, as you can imagine, there were a bunch. Monday night, Luka, well, he scored 18 of the first 20 Mavericks points. Tonight, not quite that much, but he did score the first 7.
Luka to the top of the arc, met by Jones, chest pass left to Dinwiddie and back to Doncic. To his left, steps back and over Jones for three. He hits.
Mavericks were up early by 3. Dorian Finney-Smith would then hit a 3. Luka would hit again, and the Mavericks out to an early 12-4 lead after back-to-back baskets by the Pelicans. Dwight Powell would score inside thanks to this great bounce pass from Dorian Finney-Smith.
Into Finney-Smith and behind him to Dinwiddie. Scoops it to Finney-Smith, fakes the shot, show and go to the cutting Powell, and he dunks it at the right of the rim.
Mavericks up 15-8, and the lead would balloon from there as Reggie Bullock came off the bench and helped the Mavericks go on another run.
Lewis in the lane, met by Powell, lost the ball, picked up by Doncic. Mavericks have numbers 4 on 3. Luka, right side, Reggie Bullock, wide open 3 is good.
Mavericks with a 7-0 run to go up 25-12. Later in the first quarter, Mavericks getting some points off the Pelicans turnover as Josh Green with the finish.
Use angles and footwork. Steal for the Mavericks. There's Josh Green with a huge dunk off a beautiful lob from Hardaway.
Mavericks up by 15. Luka dropped in a 3. Bertans dropped one in as well. And the Mavs were up by 21 points in the first quarter. Speaking of 21 points, that's how many Luka scored in the first quarter. 5th time this year that he has had at least a 20-point quarter, most in the NBA. Mavericks were up 40-22 after the opening 12 minutes. In the second quarter, Davis Bertans, who made 1 3 in the first, would hit another one here early in the second.
Backs up, now back right with Bullock screening. Gaining the switch against McCollum. Across the way to Bertans. From the left hash mark, hits the 3.
Later on, Bertans would hit another one, and the Mavericks were up 48-27. But Bertans, he suffered a left calf strain there in the second quarter, and the Mavericks say that he will not return tonight. Mavericks had the big lead, so the rookie Jaden Hardy getting some minutes, and there were some profitable minutes, scoring a bucket here.
And now to Powell on the handoff to Hardy. Deep left side, 20-footer is good.
Jaden Hardy with the bucket right there, and then the Mavericks would get a steal. Dorian Finney-Smith, he would hit a 3. The Mavericks were up by 28, and the run and the onslaught would continue as Spencer Dinwiddie would get himself an and 1.
Powell screen to the right. Dinwiddie goes that way. Fakes going left and then pulls up from the right of the lane. He hits it with a foul and a chance for 3.
It was a 12-0 run, and the Mavericks had their largest lead of the first half. They had doubled up the Pelicans 62-31. Mavs got a little sloppy for a couple of minutes. Pelicans would go on an 8-0 run, but the Mavericks stopped it with a couple of buckets from Luka Doncic. Then Josh Green in transition. Well, that's a lot of fun to watch.
To Ingram, right to left drive, spinning right into Powell to the trailing Valanciunas behind him, picked up by Green, driving on Murphy, Euro stepping and lays it up and in.
Josh Green with 6 points off the bench. The Mavericks up 68-39, and they would lead it at halftime in front of New Orleans by a score of 70-43. Those have been your first half highlights. Let us now go to tonight's NBA scoreboard, brought to you by Lexus. One final as the Lakers rally in the fourth quarter. They outscored Indiana 28-15 in the fourth to win 112-111. Anthony Davis had 31 points and 14 rebounds. LeBron James finished with 26. He is now 63 points away from moving past Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to become the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. Games in progress. They're early in the fourth quarter. Cavaliers leading the Grizzlies 104-87. Darius Garland, 30 points and 11 assists. 3:20 to go in the Garden. The Knicks clinging to a 4-point lead over Miami, 95-91. R.J. Barrett with 26 for the Knicks. They head to the fourth quarter in Chicago. Bulls lead the Hornets 85-70. Ayo Dosunmu with 18 for Chicago. Early in the second quarter, Golden State leading at Denver 46-40. And coming up at 9 o'clock tonight, about 15 minutes away, the Clippers will be in Milwaukee to take on the Bucks, as Milwaukee will be going for their 6th consecutive victory. And again, if the Bucks win that game and the Mavericks win, the Mavericks will move percentage points ahead of the Clippers for 4th place in the Western Conference. Other news around the league today, the NBA All-Star Reserves announced. The Western Conference Reserves are Ja Morant, Domantas Sabonis, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Paul George, Damian Lillard, Lauri Markkanen, and Jaren Jackson Jr. The Eastern Conference All-Star Reserves are Joel Embiid, DeMar DeRozan, Jaylen Brown, Bam Adebayo, Drew Holiday, Julius Randle, and Tyrese Halliburton. Elsewhere, Denver's Nikola Jokic today named the Western Conference Player of the Month for January. The Eastern Conference Player of the Month is Philadelphia's Joel Embiid. As for the Rookies of the Month, for the second consecutive month, the Western Conference honor goes to Sacramento's Keegan Murray. Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month is Orlando's Paolo Banchero. As for the Coaches of the Month in January, the Western Conference goes to Denver's Michael Malone. The Eastern Conference Coach of the Month, Philadelphia's Doc Rivers. And some college basketball tonight involving top 25 teams. We have a final, including number 19, Florida Atlantic, losing for just the second time this year. They fall to UAB by a score of 86-77. Right now, number 3, Houston, trailing at Wichita State. Under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Shockers lead that one 25-21. And with under 5 minutes to go in the first half, number 9, UCLA, they are in front of Washington by a score of 30-15. Well, it has been all Mavericks so far here in the first half against a Pelicans team, again, that has lost 9 consecutive games. Thing is, a couple nights ago, Pelicans played extremely well in Denver, but it was just the opposite here in the first half as they struggled mightily. We'll see if the Mavericks can put the hammer down here early in the third, try to rest some guys before they get ready for that big 5-game road trip starting Saturday night at Golden State. I'm Mike Peasley. That'll do it for the halftime report for tonight. When we return, we'll send you back over to Chuck and Brian. They are standing by for the second half of tonight's game. Again, our score at the half, it's the Mavericks 70, the Pelicans 43 on the Dallas Mavericks Radio Network.
Jefferson Dental and Orthodontics is the official dentist of the Dallas Mavericks and has been trusted for affordable, high-quality dental and orthodontic care since 1967. Want free teeth whitening trays at your next appointment?
What if a mouse could change the world? If I could ride a runaway railway with Mickey and Minnie? What if there could be a huge party with all my Disneyland friends?
Come celebrate 100 years of Disney during a once-in-a-lifetime celebration at the Disneyland Resort. Both tickets and park reservations required. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Lex Brody's in Kalihi has closed. If you're looking for the #1 repair shop in town, visit Starkey's in Kalihi on Dillingham Boulevard. Same-day service available. No appointment necessary for safety checks. Come to Starkey's Auto Repair.
Vicks NyQuil Severe tackles your worst cold and flu symptoms, changing this into this. NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, sore throat, stuffy head, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold, medicine. Use as directed.
Don't sleep on Ashley's President's Day Mattress Preview Sale, going on now. Get early access to President's Day mattress deals from all the top brands. This week only, get 10% off select mattresses throughout the store and online. And with special financing options available for all budgets, upgrading your mattress has never been easier. For better sleep and savings, hurry to your local Ashley store or visit ashley.com to shop the President's Day Mattress Preview Sale. See store or ashley.com for details and availability.
If the Mavericks can play 6 really good minutes, we might not see Luka Doncic anymore tonight and just finish this one out with the deep reserves and get some folks some rest before the big road trip starts.
Yeah, especially considering, there's the usage rate, the historically high usage rate Luka has. I talked about overcoming the rebounding with turnovers and threes. Well, they're only down 3 in the rebounding battle. They're up 21 on threes and a plus 18 on points off turnovers.
Here is Doncic as the Mavericks shoot to our left in their navy blue statements. Pelicans in their red. Hardaway off the curl. Deep 3, no good. Rebound. Finney-Smith in the lane. Back out to Luka at the right wing against Valanciunas. Double to the right corner. Finney-Smith wide open. Hits it.
Absolutely wide open. Good to see him hit that shot when it's available.
The third 3 of the game for Dorian Finney-Smith. The Mavericks 9 of 19 from 3 and lead by 30, 73 to 43. Here's Valanciunas at the top of the arc. A couple of bounces to his left. The handoff to Ingram playing pick and roll with him. And the catch by Valanciunas, blocked by Finney-Smith, but a foul. 3 fouls on Dorian Finney-Smith. And Valanciunas
will go to the free throw line to shoot. You know, Brian, you talked about the lack of three-point shooting from the Pelicans. If you go back to the second half on Tuesday night in Denver, combine it with the first half tonight, the last 4 quarters, the Pelicans 2 of 21 from 3.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. Since Zion's been out, they are 28th in the league in three-point percentage, 33%. They don't shoot that many of them, but overall they're 18th in the league. So that shows how bad it's been since Zion's been out, because he really sucks that defense in and allows some more open looks, but they just don't have that many great shooters either.
And they've just not been able to keep him on the floor long enough to make a super impact. I mean, his season 2 years ago was one of the great seasons of all time. 27 points a game on 60% shooting. Kevin McHale's the only one to ever do it.
When he went out, they were second in the West.
And actually, yeah, they were second. They were actually on top on December 31st at 23-12. They're 3-17 or 3-14 since then. Doncic, a right wing three, is no good. And the rebound taken by Ingram of New Orleans, 73-45. In and out to his left. McCollum on the drive. He beat Dwight Powell to the rim to lay it up and in.
McCollum, a key acquisition for them last year in that big trade that David Griffin made.
Josh Hart, among others, going to Portland. 73-47, Luka. Now they try to trap him. Bounce pass between the double team. He got it to Powell, and he got fouled on the play. Now, one of the few times that New Orleans has really thrown the double at Luka tonight, and even then, it really wasn't a hard blitz. You know, maybe it's just me. I'm surprised that more teams just don't flat out hard blitz Luka and then make sure that he doesn't get the ball back.
Well, that's the key is not getting the ball back, because when you hard blitz, then you're playing 4-on-3, and Kidd likes playing 4-on-3 basketball.
Yes, he does.
Because you get a guy at the nail. The nail is literally the middle of the free throw line. There's a nail right there. There used to be. And so that's why they call it the nail. And then you can pick where you want to go with the ball, and you're going to get an open look because you're playing 4-on-3, and you might get an open 3. The Mavericks welcome that. But teams are wary of always playing that 4-on-3. That's why they're wary of blitzing. But if they don't, then Luka just has his way and has 27 points at half. But you're right. The key is denying him the ball after that initial pass.
Powell missed the first, made the second. The Mavericks 74, the Pelicans 47, 90 seconds into the third quarter, with Brandon Ingram to bring it up against Finney Smith. Along the left sideline, stop and go on the drive, met by Powell. Finger roll, no good, but fouled on the play. And he's got the great length, the long arms, the ability to finish. I mean, big-time scorer and all-star a couple of years ago, but missed so much time and trying to work his way back. And sometimes the working your way back in the process can be really painful.
Yeah, I like Ingram. I don't love Ingram. I think he did make that all-star team. He's making his max money, but he takes some bad decisions. It tends to go into hero ball a little bit, shoots a lot of mid-range when he should probably shoot some threes. But on this team, if he's the third option, then they can go far with that.
First free throw made, 88% from the foul line. Second one is also good. And Ingram now in double figures with 10. He and McCollum both with 10 for the Pelicans. Doncic with 27 to bring it up for the Mavericks against Herb Jones. Screen by Powell. No double team this time. To his right. Swings it left Dinwiddie. Touch it left corner Hardaway. Fouled by Trey Murphy along the baseline. As Murphy picks up his second foul. And the second team foul against the Pelicans. A side out of bounds for Doncic. From the left at the foul line extended. Into Powell with his back to the basket. Luka overplayed by McCollum. Luka certainly can't get it to him. Powell will put it on the floor to his right. Makes the handoff to Hardaway. And now to Finney Smith off the dribble and then stepping back for three. And that's no good. Herb Jones with the New Orleans rebound. To Ingram, left to McCollum. Left corner Murphy met by Doncic. Take right, go left. Finds Valanciunas in the lane. Rims out. Missed the follow. Got it back again. Scores it with a foul. Doing a little Moses Malone there. He's done that a couple of times tonight to pad those offensive rebound numbers.
Yeah, another missed money, but he does get the putback here. 74-51. You just hope, as you mentioned, they can, this quarter where Luka's going to play the entire quarter, stay at a 30-point level and get some rest for everybody.
Valanciunas' 10th rebound of the game. His 6th offensive rebound.
Luka and Valanciunas do play against each other in Europe quite a bit. There was a big Lithuania-Slovenia game to qualify for the Olympics a couple of years ago.
Yes, indeed. And Luka with the triple-double, playing in Lithuania.
Yes.
31, 11, and 13 in that game. Luka through the lane, left to right. Finney Smith in the corner. Out top, Dinwiddie catch and shoot three is good. The 10th three-pointer of the night for the Mavericks in 22 attempts. The Mavericks 77, the Pelicans 52. McCollum in the lane, out to the right wing to Jones, now to Ingram on the drive. Changing hands right to left, can't finish it. Rebound, Powell, and he got fouled. And that took a pretty good shot as well along the baseline.
You can pack the paint against this Pelicans team because you're just not afraid of what they're doing from deep, and it really hurts what they can do offensively.
9:17 remaining in the third quarter. The foul's on Valanciunas, and that's 3 on him and 3 on the Pelicans. And the Mavericks with a side out of bounds.
The Mavericks are arguing that that's, the Mavericks are arguing that's a take foul, which, from what I saw in the Wizards game, everything's a take foul.
We know what the take foul is supposed to be used for, as Doncic right to left. Now played by McCollum, and he blows by him and blows by Valanciunas and lays it in with a foul. And I tell you what, that play was made by Dwight Powell in the middle of the lane.
Yep, great screen by Powell. Just that subtle blocking of the defender Valanciunas trying to get over. He does that so often, and it's really overlooked. But, we talked about it earlier. Powell is really the only big man the Mavs are playing while Maxi's out. And he is absolutely essential with what they do on both ends of the floor. Offensively, that vertical game, screens like that, which go underappreciated, the best screener in the league. And then defensively, always having the challenge of the biggest player on the court on the other side.
Luka barely drawing iron on the and one attempt. And the rebound to the Pelicans. At the left baseline, Ingram, left wing Valanciunas. Ingram on a post-up against Dinwiddie, facing, put it in the lane. Now from the dotted line, fadeaway, no good. Tipped out to Dinwiddie. Ingram now 3 of 9 from the floor. Luka, the trailer at the top of the arc, between his legs, steps back over Murphy for 3. It's no good, and Ingram with a rebound. Off the left side comes McCollum. Valanciunas, McCollum went backdoor. Valanciunas couldn't get it to him. Now to Ingram, crossing the foul line and a reach-in foul. And Hardaway is going to get that foul. The first on Hardaway. And the fourth on the Mavericks. A very whistle-happy start to the third quarter. 18 fouls already called. Everybody's shooting free throws for the remainder of the third. We've only played 3.5 minutes. Valanciunas, top of the arc. Picks up the dribble, behind him to Ingram, 6 to shoot. Along the left side, pocket pass to the top of the circle, and on the drive, and it's a travel by Valanciunas, who has just had a rough go of it tonight.
Yeah, he's stuck at the top of the key with 4 seconds on the shot clock. You don't want to take that shot. He tried to make a move, and it was too late. He called for the travel.
14 New Orleans turnovers. The Mavericks 79, the Pelicans 52, 8:15 remaining in the third. As Luka brings it up against Herb Jones, diagonally to his left. Played by McCollum, stop and go on the drive, and banks it up and in. Shot that one on the way down from the left block.
Once again, Valanciunas can't come double. He's worried about Powell on the alley-oop.
81-52. Left corner Ingram. Shot fake on Dinwiddie. They want him to go baseline. He'll give it up to Valanciunas, to the top to Murphy. Deep straightaway 3, way short. And the rebound taken by Dinwiddie.
New Orleans now 1 of 10 from deep.
Here is Dinwiddie, left to right drive. Almost lost the handle, but got it back. At the right wing against Valanciunas as he measures him. Stepping back, sidestep, right wing 3, no good. McCollum the rebound. Here comes C.J. McCollum for the Pelicans against Hardaway. Right to left drive in the lane. Nice wraparound to Valanciunas. Score it with a foul and a chance at a three-point play. A really nice pass by McCollum.
Chuck, if you're the Pelicans and you don't know what Zion's availability is, do you make an all-in move? Do you go 3 number 1s for an Anunoby or somebody like that?
I would be tempted. I don't know that I would do it just because I think Anunoby, unless you're playing Anunoby and Ingram together and you're bringing Murphy off the bench, I guess that's a lot. Because
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And you have one swing at these kind of big deals.
And they did it, with the Drew Holiday deal, and they got the 3 number 1s for him. Drew Holiday's a better player than Anunoby.
But that's the price of poker these days.
And Luka into the lane, Statue of Liberty to the rim, and got hammered and fell hard on his back and hip.
Yeah, it looked like his right hip. He's shaking it off.
Yeah, Ingram gets called for the foul. and that was scary.
Yeah, right on his right hip.
That's it. He was actually lucky. His right foot hit the ground and almost braced the fall a little bit, so he didn't have to take the full brunt of it.
And he doesn't sprain that right ankle as it came down either. And now we're going to see if it's a flagrant.
It's a flagrant and
coach's challenge.
Well, the Mavericks will challenge, and 7:12 remaining in the
Pelicans challenge.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, it's the Pelicans with the challenge because the Mavericks already used it and won. 7:12 remaining in the third. Mavericks 81, Pelicans 55 on the Dallas Mavericks Radio Network. This is Chuck Cooperstein. UT Dallas is on a winning streak. #1 public university in North Texas and 24 top 50 nationally ranked academic programs by U.S. News and World Report. UT.
What if a mouse could change the world? If I could ride a runaway railway with Mickey and Minnie? What if there could be a huge party with all my Disneyland friends?
Come celebrate 100 years of Disney during a once-in-a-lifetime celebration at the Disneyland Resort. Both tickets and park reservations required. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
Hi, I'm Ryan Reynolds. As owner of Mint Mobile, I couldn't wait to make my first commercial for iHeart listeners. I thought, I'll tell them to go to mintmobile.com/iHeart to get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Then I thought, they'll never believe the owner bragging, so I'll bring on a real Mint customer who knows it's premium wireless for just $15 a month. Then I thought, how will they know it's not just me acting as a customer? Then I thought, what if they don't think I'm a good enough actor to play a customer? Then I cried and went to bed at the end.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
Hello, Ed Vance for Advance Auto Parts here. Welcome to Ed Talk Radio. Today's episode, how to save at the pump. Short answer, Advance Speed Perks. Slightly longer answer, you can use your Speed Perks points at participating Shell stations to save money on fuel. The more Speed Perks points you have, the more you can save on gas. Then you can tell everybody you saved at the pump. People love that. Okay, thanks for listening to my Ed Talk.
This is how we advance.
1877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
Donate your car today.
All right, you hear Kevin Scott. The Pelicans have won the challenge. No foul on Brandon Ingram.
But Dallas will retain the ball.
But the Mavericks do get the ball. With 7:12 remaining and up 81-55.
It looks like Ingram's left arm clearly makes contact with Luka's arm. Kind of confusing. They didn't.
They got the ball.
Yeah.
He got the ball first. Now inbound to Doncic. Here's the trap as he backs up to Powell in the middle. Left to Hardaway. Left corner, Dinwiddie releases the three, and down it goes.
Huge part of Dinwiddie's game, one of the highest shooting from the corner in the league.
2 out of 4 from 3 tonight. 40% for the season. Underneath the basket, there is Herb Jones with the finish. On the reverse with the offhand, his right hand. And he'll go to the line for an and one.
Yeah, comes around, gets Powell in the air, and then as Powell's coming down, draws the foul for the and one. And Luka going into the locker room.
As Reggie Bullock and Josh Green check in the game with Doncic and Dinwiddie sitting down.
Luka went into the locker room. I don't know if that was just a bathroom break or something else.
About to find out as Jones misses the free throw and Josh Green with a rebound. The Mavericks 84, the Pelicans 57, 6:40 remaining in the third quarter. Dinwiddie to his left. Dinwiddie chased by Jones, backs up on the dribble to the top of the arc with 8 to shoot. Now driving to his left, beats Jones. Looping pass right sideline, hauled in by Bullock, finds Green right in the lane, and that's off the mark as he was off balance when he let it go. McCollum the rebound for New Orleans.
McCollum up the right side to the right of the lane on the drive. Turned back by Powell. Through the lane to Ingram in the left corner for three. That's no good. Front rimmed it. Bounces to the weak side and taken by Hardaway. Here comes Hardaway. Crossing over right to left and back to his right. An offensive foul on Powell.
Pelicans now shooting 9% from deep.
That's 1 of 11. And 2 for their last 23 from 3. In the last 4.5 quarters of play. New Orleans to inbound the ball. As Kyra Lewis is checked in for the Pelicans to replace McCollum. And he comes up the right side to Valanciunas, top of the arc. Ingram coming around left to right as Bullock got bumped off. Bullock gets back to him, though. Ingram has to give it up to Jones and now to Valanciunas against Powell, one-on-one. Hard dribble with the right, goes to the ground, and then throws it out to half court to Lewis. One bounce, and then the deep three. Banks just hit the board. It came right to Valanciunas, and he put it in at the right of the rim off the board.
Yeah, it was good defense by Powell initially, but Valanciunas, right place, right time to get the putback.
84 to 59. Valanciunas with 9 in the quarter, 13 in the game. Pick and roll. Dinwiddie to Powell, left side, Hardaway, 3. It's good. And that's the way it's supposed to work.
That is how it's drawn up.
Here is the give and go with Lewis on the jet cut. No good. There's Valanciunas to follow it up and score.
12th rebound of the game.
And 15 points, or 14 points, for Valanciunas. 87-61. Here is Dinwiddie spinning, stepping through on Jones, pulled the string short. Valanciunas the rebound. And New Orleans with some numbers. Jones up the right side to the right corner to Lewis. Back to Jones at the wing above the break to the top. Murphy is open for 3, and that's long and right. Rebound tipped away from Valanciunas by Powell, but out to Ingram. He'll drive left of the lane, into the lane. Got himself in deep, and it's blocked by Powell, and he powered it in anyway. And a big-time finish by Brandon Ingram. He'll go to the line for an and one.
And just a quick note on Luka going in the locker room. Casey Smith, the director of performance, is in the locker room with him. So that is a sign that it's not just a bathroom break. We don't know what it is.
With Brandon Ingram on the line. And I just wonder if it has something to do with the fall. It's a pretty significant fall.
Because obviously right before he went in, there was nothing. He wasn't involved in the play. So we'll just have to wait and see. But
free throw is good for Ingram. 13 for Brandon Ingram. 87-64. Dinwiddie along the right side. 4.5 to play in the third. Hand off to Hardaway, turning right. Jones stays with him as he backs up on the dribble to the hash mark. And will pull up for the deep 3 from the right wing. It's good.
And his last 2 threes, and as his threes go, the Mavs go.
Indeed. Overall shooting percentage, too. And Ingram answers with a trail 3 from the top of the arc. 8 for Ingram in the quarter. 16 in the game, 90-67. Dinwiddie left to right, gets past Jones through the lane. Bullock wide open, left corner 3, rims the basket. And Ingram with his 6th rebound. Here comes Ingram to the top of the arc. Between his legs, driving right on Bullock, spinning him for the dotted line. Left corner Jones, the Lewis left wing drive. Hangs blocked by Dinwiddie. Taken down by Finney-Smith. Ahead to Josh Green. And it's out of bounds. And last touch by Ingram. A lot of contact.
Boy.
Leon Wood electing not to call a foul.
Looked like a foul on Ingram there, running right into Josh Green.
.21 on the shot clock. 3:40 remaining in the third quarter. Mavericks have led by as many as 31 tonight. They lead by 23 right now. Inbound to Hardaway. Finney-Smith bobbles but recovers. Now drives on Jones. Left corner to Josh Green. Drives left to right. Turns the corner. Got around Nance and laid it up and in.
Bobbled the ball. Couldn't get a 3. It was contested, but great recognition to go attack the hoop and get the bucket.
92-65. Josh Green's 8th point of the game. Out top, Nance against Finney-Smith. To Lewis, top of the arc, Ingram against Green. Right to Jones, trying to drive it. Euro step, hang and score against Hardaway. 92-69. 3 minutes remaining, third quarter. Hardaway with the ball just over the line on the right against Kyra Lewis. Bullock will screen for him. He'll go to the left. And then back right to Bullock. Launch the three. Front rim, back rim, fell away to Nance.
Getting the shots they want.
Ingram, mid-post on the left side. Inside pivot against Bullock. Driving left, got around and met by Finney-Smith. Missed it. Rebound taken down by Bullock. Good challenge by Finney-Smith. Now Green runs the floor, not in a shooting position. Out to the right to Hardaway. Always in a shooting position, but in and out. And the rebound run down by Green. Back out to Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie left to Bullock. Back to Dinwiddie. Shot clock at 6 and 5. Dinwiddie between his legs. 3 and 2. Spinning at the foul line. Put it on up. No good. And a bailout with 0.2 of a second remaining on the clock. Spencer Dinwiddie will go to the line to shoot after a timeout taken by the Mavericks with 2:11 remaining in the third quarter. The foul was on Brandon Ingram. The Mavericks with a 92-69 lead over the Pelicans on the Dallas Mavericks radio network.
Fly to Philly, take off to Tampa, depart for Denver. Following your team on the road is more rewarding with the new American Airlines Advantage program. Your flights and everyday spend not only earn you miles toward your next trip, but also loyalty points toward Advantage status. All the more reason.
What if a mouse could change the world? If I could ride a runaway railway with Mickey and Minnie? What if there could be a huge party with all my Disneyland friends?
Come celebrate 100 years of Disney during a once-in-a-lifetime celebration at the Disneyland Resort. Both tickets and park reservations required. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
This February, Xfinity Flex is unlocking premium entertainment for you to try every single week, no strings attached. Celebrate during Black History Month with shows like Unsung the Decades. Snuggle up during Valentine's Day with a Lifetime Movie Club pick like Harry and Meghan, A Royal Romance. Or crank up the action with Godfather of Harlem from MGM+. Get down and funky with the Classic Soul playlist from iHeartRadio. Easily discover new free content each week across the best streaming app. Say free this week into your Xfinity voice remote.
The people who thought working full-time was the only way also sent text with a fax machine. You don't send text with a fax machine. You use Upwork to hire flexible teams of talent.
This is how we work now.
4 minutes to go. Bulls lead the Hornets 111-98 at the half. The Nuggets in front of Golden State 70-69. Chuck.
Final 2:11 of the third quarter. Mavericks lead the Pelicans 92-69. Mavericks have slowed down a bit here in the third quarter. 8 of 19 overall shooting. Still good from 3, 5 of 13. They're 13 of 30 for the game, 43%. And Spencer Dinwiddie on the line to shoot as we resume. And he hits the first one. The Mavs Reading Challenge presented by Whataburger encourages the love of reading for students of all ages. To find out how you can participate for a chance to win free Whataburger, Mavs tickets, or even a classroom visit from Champ and Mavs Man, head on over to Mavs.com/reading today.
Just to update on Luka, it could be a re-aggravation of that right ankle. He was limping off the court, so we'll have to see on that.
94-69, 2 minutes to play in the third. McCollum right of the lane. Mavericks went zone here and banks it and just hit the board. The rebound taken by Hardaway. Dinwiddie will bring it up for the Mavericks to Hardaway. Gets it back to Dinwiddie. Now against Nance. Dinwiddie looking things over with 8 to shoot. Top of the arc still. On the drive with his left hand. Hangs off balance. No good. Off the right of the rim. And the rebound to Murphy. To McCollum up the left side. In and out right to left. Got by Bullock. Finds Nance in the lane to lay it up and in.
Little pep in the step of the Pelicans.
Yeah, Mavericks 94, the Pelicans 71. Although New Orleans still has not had the monster run to really make the Mavericks think about it. They've not been inside of 20 here in the third quarter. Bullock to the left to Jaden Hardy, who's checked in to Hardaway in the left corner for three. Front rims it. And the rebound taken down by Lewis. Hardaway 3 of 11 from 3 tonight, 3 of 8 from 3. Here is Marshall, knocks down a 3 over Finney-Smith. 94-74.
A good test for the Mavericks. They're used to having Luka the whole third quarter. Can they withstand this and just keep pushing along?
They've lost Luka for the time being. They've lost Bertans as well. Dinwiddie on the drive, and he got fouled. Nance blocked it from behind. They're going to get Kyra Lewis, though, for the foul in front.
Just when we got some news that Wood and Kleber are cleared for practice, and we see some light at the end of tunnel injury-wise there. Now you have Bertans. We don't know where he's going to go. Luka, again, with that ankle. We just saw him miss a game because of that. It always seemed to be something. It would be great to have this team at full strength for the stretch run.
Dinwiddie's first one falls off the rim to the right. Again, Jason Kidd saying before the game that both Christian Wood and Maxi Kleber will be on the 5-game road trip that starts on Saturday in San Francisco. That Wood is probably closer to playing than Kleber. He would expect that Wood would play it sometime on the trip. Not quite sure about Kleber.
He said on Mavs Live a couple weeks ago he would hope to be back before the break, but if he's not, I think we can guarantee he'll be back right after the break.
Second free throw made by Dinwiddie, 95-74 on the drive. And here's Murphy trying to finish it. Hits the heel of the rim, but a foul drawn as Brent Farnicky blows his whistle. Frank Ntilikina, having checked in the game on those Dinwiddie free throws, gets called for the foul.
Yeah, put into play when you don't have Bertans there in the rotation. Obviously, Luka out. Ntilikina is going to be next man up.
95-74. First one from Murphy, front rim, back rim, jumps up in the air and drops through for his 8th point. Herb Jones comes back in for the Pelicans to replace Lewis.
Mavericks looking to have their first back-to-back win in quite some time. It just seems whenever something goes well, they go back down, and when they go back down, they're able to recover. But it'd be nice to have a little consistency and momentum to get back away from that 500 mark.
Just been hard to grab it, save for that 7-game win streak in late December that ended on January 2nd against Houston. 2 free throws made, 2-second difference, shot clock to game clock. Dinwiddie right of the circle against Larry Nance, 5 to shoot. And 4 and 3, and he'll try to drive it, got around him, and can't get it to go. As he took it off the floor, banked it, missed it, and it's out of bounds to the Pelicans with 9/10 of a second remaining. As McCollum will throw it in, Marshall will let the horn sound, and that'll do it for 3 quarters at the American Airlines Center. The Mavericks, a big lead, but some real concern with Doncic in the locker room. Bertans already out of the game tonight. The Mavericks 95 to Pelicans 76 on the Dallas Mavericks Radio Network.
I'm going to let you in on a secret. You never have to pay overdraft fees again when you're banking through Chime. That's right, Chime is changing the game. Chime has no monthly fees, and with SpotMe, you get fee-free overdraft on debit card purchases. Now that's banking.
What if a mouse could change the world? If I could ride a runaway railway with Mickey and Minnie? What if there could be a huge party with all my Disneyland friends?
Come celebrate 100 years of Disney during a once-in-a-lifetime celebration at the Disneyland Resort. Both tickets and park reservations required. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
This February, Xfinity Flex is unlocking premium entertainment for you to try every single week, no strings attached. Celebrate during Black History Month with shows like Unsung the Decades. Snuggle up during Valentine's Day with a Lifetime Movie Club pick like Harry and Meghan, A Royal Romance. Or crank up the action with Godfather of Harlem from MGM Plus. Get down and funky with the Classic Soul playlist from iHeartRadio. Easily discover new free content each week across the best streaming app. Say free this week into your Xfinity voice remote.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink. What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum. That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe. I didn't know the trees were so amazing. Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb. That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Luka Doncic for the game. Doncic will not play anymore tonight. A bruised right heel. Left the game with 6:47 remaining in the third quarter. The Mavericks with a 95-76 lead as we start the fourth. Pelicans with the ball shooting to our right. Larry Nance, dribble handoff to McCollum, turning left and over the top for Nance underneath the basket. Wrap around, stolen by Josh Green. Here comes Green, 2-on-2 on Alvarado, spinning, trailing Hardy. Tried to get it to Bullock, and a good job by McCollum to get back into play and deflect it out of bounds.
Well, the good news is you have a big lead, and you can hope you can close it out without Luka. But as you mentioned, we got a big game Saturday against the Warriors in Golden State. Will he be available for that one?
Well, you got a big road trip. I mean, again, the next 7 games, in fact, including tonight, all these 8 games prior to the All-Star break, all teams involved in the Western Conference playoff chase. Here's Hardy, left wing 3, front rimmed it, and the rebound taken by Alvarado. Mavericks are just 8 of 22 shooting in the third quarter after they shot 57% in the first half. Najee Marshall at the left wing to Alvarado out top. On the drive against Finney-Smith, met by Bullock, and he traveled, got it caught up in the air, and came down with the ball.
Didn't know where he wanted to go with it once you got in the air. That is the cardinal rule.
The 16th turnover for New Orleans. And again, they killed themselves in the first half with 13 turnovers that led to 25 Dallas points. 95-76, Finney-Smith behind him to Hardaway. Drop it off to Finney-Smith, middle of the lane, playing quarterback. Left to Bullock, back out to half court to Hardaway with 5 to shoot against Alvarado with 4. And we'll walk into a 3, and that is short, and the rebound taken by Larry Nance. If they can get Tim Hardaway on track, they've really got something going. But it's a struggle again for Hardaway tonight as McCollum, a runner from the left of the lane, is good.
Well, they've got it under that 20 mark. Got to keep playing hard.
95-78. Hardaway mentions 3 of 12, 2 of 9 from 3. Here's Green driving on Nance. Put a shoulder into him, banks it up too hard. Tipped in by Finney-Smith, soaring down the lane and knocked it home with his left hand.
Attack the basket. Don't settle for the long-range threes. If they're not going to fall, then go attack the basket. You get fouled, or in that case, a putback.
97-78, McCollum in the lane for Nance. Bounce pass right corner, Murphy. Run off the line by Bullock, who stuck out his hip and fouled him.
Looking at the Luka replay when he fell, you mentioned it when we saw it initially. That foot stopped him from having a harder fall on his hip, but that's where the right heel confusion, all of his weight went right into that heel, and that's where the injury came from.
As Jaden Hardy leaves the game, Spencer Dinwiddie comes back in. The right wing, McCollum, shot fake. Green made him give it up to Marshall. 6 to shoot on the drive, and the floater is good. Inside of Bullock and over Finney-Smith. Najee Marshall's got 7, 97-80.
Dinwiddie back in there to run things. Didn't get much of a rest.
Dinwiddie from right to left, back right to Hardaway. He'll drive it, and to the rim. Floated no good, followed home by Finney-Smith again.
Second time in a row, Finney-Smith has gone there for the great offensive rebound and second chance points.
And that is 6 rebounds for Dorian Finney-Smith. 3 of them on the offensive end. He's got 13 points. Here is Nance in the lane, deep against Finney-Smith. And again, with the Mavericks playing that micro lineup, very difficult once that ball gets deep in the lane.
Yeah, the rebounding advantage now getting away from him. Minus 10.
99-82 as we come down on 9 minutes remaining in the fourth. Dinwiddie left wing, driving into the lane, through the lane, got caught in the air, behind him to Hardaway with 5 on the clock. Now to Dinwiddie again, laid off Bullock, has to get rid of it, and instead went to Dinwiddie, who turned against the clock and missed it off the back rim. from 10. Nance the rebound to Alvarado. McCollum, touch it to Marshall. Right corner three is good. And Jason Kidd's going to take a timeout as the Pelicans have it down to 14 with 8:43 remaining. It's the Mavericks 99 and the Pelicans 85 on the Dallas Mavericks Radio Network.
Get a whole home surge protector with the purchase and installation of a generator from Baker Brothers Plumbing, Air, and Electric. While supplies last, call or visit us online today.
Baker Brothers makes great service fun.
License TECL 33750.
What if a mouse could change the world? If I could ride a runaway railway with Mickey and Minnie? What if there could be a huge party with all my Disneyland friends?
Come celebrate 100 years of Disney during a once-in-a-lifetime celebration at the Disneyland Resort. Both tickets and park reservations required. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
Donate your car today.
This February, Xfinity Flex is unlocking premium entertainment for you to try every single week, no strings attached. Celebrate during Black History Month with shows like Unsung the Decades. Snuggle up during Valentine's Day with a Lifetime Movie Club pick like Harry and Meghan, A Royal Romance. Or crank up the action with Godfather of Harlem from MGM+. Get down and funky with the Classic Soul playlist from iHeartRadio. Easily discover new free content each week across the best streaming app. Say free this week into your Xfinity voice remote.
Switch to Consumer Cellular and save up to half on your cell phone bill. You'll never worry about dropped calls because we offer the same coverage as the nation's largest premium carriers with 5G coverage for free. Our award-winning customer support team makes switching easy. We offer unlimited talk and text with a flexible data plan starting as low as $20 a month. This is all backed by our 100% risk-free guarantee. Visit consumercellular.com to start saving today.
What do you get with a $100 million renaissance? A timeless hideaway in the heart of Death Valley National Park. Now better than ever. Visit Oasis at deathvalley.com.
/art. 99-85. Mavericks lead the Pelicans. 8:43 remaining. New Orleans a 16-5 run over the last 4 minutes and 44 seconds, going back to the final 87 seconds of the third quarter. And again, the Mavericks without Luka Doncic for the rest of this game. Bruised right heel suffered midway through the third, was on his way to another monstrous night as it was. Wounds up with 31 points in 23 minutes. And the Mavericks will have it with Dinwiddie bringing it up with Green, Hardaway, Bullock, and Finney-Smith. Mavericks playing with no one taller than 6'6". Middle of the floor, Dinwiddie to his right on the drive against Marshall and Jones. Backs up. Finney-Smith will drive on Marshall. Went to the ground because he was tripped. And Najee Marshall gets called for the foul.
This microball lineup can spread you out. You can get open looks and defensively can fly all around. But rebounding and anything in terms of rim protection just isn't there.
Mavericks minus 11 on the boards. 41-30. Most of that really because of New Orleans, the offensive end, 12 offensive rebounds for 14 second chance points, 9 offensive rebounds from Valanciunas, who's not in the game right now. Dinwiddie turning, hanging, banking on McCollum, missed that. Nance the rebound. Up the right side to Marshall, to the trailing Herb Jones, to his left, met by Green. Swings it to Marshall on the drive, and the scoop of the left hand is no good. The rebound to Hardaway with a good block out of Nance. Here comes Hardaway, in and out to his right, on the drive, and to the rim, short. Rebound, Nance ripped it away from Hardaway.
Yeah, Hardaway was trying to go 1-on-3 there.
And Nance did the splits as he came up with that rebound, and he's okay. At the top of the arc now, Nance to the left to McCollum. Put it on the floor at the foul line. Right corner, Jones will try the three. That's no good. And the rebound to Finney-Smith. Herb Jones, 1 of 6 from 3. I'm really surprised they're having him take that many threes. Again, just a 29.6% three-point shooter. 99-85, 4.5 gone, fourth quarter. Dinwiddie against McCollum, stepping back, long two, no good. And the rebound taken down by Ingram. And the Mavericks in a major drought right now as Ingram is fouled by Josh Green.
The problem with if you don't have the offensive rebounds, and it's one possession every time down the court. If you miss it, especially on those long threes that have long rebounds, right the other way.
Mavericks in the fourth quarter, 2 of 10. New Orleans is 4-6. 7:15 remaining. Ingram in the Nance. And back to Ingram, left wing. Put it on the floor against Hardaway. Pulls up in the lane and scores from 12 feet. And make it an 18-5 run. And there's a lot of time left.
Plenty.
The Mavericks in a major drought right now. Dinwiddie directing traffic along the right sideline. In the middle to Finney-Smith. Will try the three over Jones. That's way off. Rebound off the hands of Bullock and picked up by Marshall. He'll drop it off to Ingram on the drive around Josh Green, and Green's now going to be called for a blocking foul.
This is when we're going to find out what these non-Lucas are made of right here. Can they withstand this bit of a New Orleans run, this New Orleans team desperate to get a win, get off the schneid on this 9-game losing streak?
New Orleans has scored 7 straight points. Mavericks have not scored in nearly 3 minutes. Nance off the inbound, the left wing, bodied up on by Hardaway. Marshall trying to slice to a double team. He does, but Finney-Smith comes over to block his layup, and it's picked up by Green, who comes up the left side. Finney-Smith in the left corner. Put it on the floor, bounces back out to Green, drives into the lane, and to the rim on the double clutch, lays it up and in. That's 10 for Josh Green, who's been averaging 10 since his return to play.
Dinwiddie gets a piece of that McCollum three.
Well played by Spencer Dinwiddie at the left wing to Hardaway out top. He'll drive on McCollum to the rim. McCollum got his hands on top of the ball, and it is out of bounds. And the Mavericks are fortunate that's not a jump ball. Hardaway looking for a foul call as Alvarado's going to come back in for New Orleans. And Marshall will sit. 14 seconds for the Mavericks to shoot. Baseline right inbound. Hardaway looking. Dinwiddie overplayed by Jones. Now into Dinwiddie in the right corner. 10 to shoot. Up fake. Jab step. Right baseline drive. Got by him. Through the lane. Tried to get it to the cutting Green. Went through his legs. Picked up by McCollum. 3-on-1. Left corner. Alvarado for 3. No good. Jones to the foul line with the rebound. A whistle. And a loose ball foul called against the Mavericks and called against Finney-Smith.
Pelicans weren't shooting 21% from 3. This would be a much closer game, Chuck.
Oh, goodness. The old school 3-on-1, you're driving that to the rim to score. The new school 3-on-1, get it to a guy in the left corner. Alvarado taking that 34% from 3. And he inbounds to Nance. Nance looking over his right shoulder. Alvarado spotting up in the left corner again, and again he misses. And a late whistle. Oh, Leon Wood. And this is the call that drives everybody insane. That ball was off the rim when Leon Wood blew his whistle and Josh Green grabbed the rebound.
He's saying that Dodo landed in his personal space, in his landing space, but it's 5 seconds after he did that.
You know what? And it may very well be a foul. And I know the officials want to talk about speed, balance, quickness, that type of thing, and a natural lag, if you will. No, a foul is a foul. When the shot is taken, just call it then. And if you're not going to call it, then let it go. And frankly, you wonder if the ball had gone to the basket, would he have called it? Because we never see.
And if Alvarado doesn't fall down, that's the key. He didn't call it until he hit the ground, which, what does that encourage? It encouraged people hitting the ground.
I will admit, Brian, it is the bane of my existence watching NBA basketball, and it makes no sense, and it has never been properly explained.
And they're going to call 3 shots. They're sticking with it.
Yep. And again, not to say that there wasn't contact, and ultimately it's the right call, but there's got to be a call within a reasonable amount of time. I mean, the ball's on the rim, that's fine. The ball's in the air once it comes off the rim, that's fine too.
You're right, but it can't be results-oriented. It can't be because he missed it, A, or B, because he fell down.
Well, and it can't be called once the opposing team actually has the ball in their hand, which Josh Green had there. So Jose Alvarado's on the line to shoot 3 times. He's an 81% free throw shooter.
And the review wasn't a challenge. We don't have any challenge.
Right.
It was a flagrant, because stepping in the old Zaza Pachulia rule can be a flagrant if it's deemed aggressive.
The first one missed by Alvarado. The Pelicans 15 of 18 from the line tonight. Here's the second. That's good. 101 to 88. The Mavericks raced out to a 40 to 22 lead after one. It's a 12-point game right now. The last time it was this close, it was 22 to 12 with just under 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. At the left wing, Hardaway in the middle of the floor to Dinwiddie. Right off of Dwight Powell back in the game. To the curling Hardaway, rise and fire for 3, and that's way off. And the rebound to Herb Jones. And the Mavericks ice cold here in the fourth quarter. Here's Ingram right to left, and a carry called on Ingram.
And he's been doing that more than a little bit, and they finally do call it.
The Mavericks 3 of 14 from the floor in the fourth quarter, 0 of 4 from 3. And they've scored just 6 points in the first 6 minutes and 45 seconds of the fourth quarter. Dinwiddie to Green, back to Dinwiddie. Left wing, cross court to Green. Shoots the 3 over Jones, rattles in and out. And the rebound taken by Nance. In the middle of the floor, McCollum to his right on the drive, met by Powell. And he lays it up, and actually he fooled Powell because he thought McCollum was going to pass the ball to Nance in the lane.
Now, 10-point game with under 5 minutes to play.
Again, a ton of time. And the Mavericks really need to start trying to drive the ball. The outside shooting is just not there right now. Dinwiddie against McCollum, 9 to shoot. Dancing, driving, spinning, hanging, draws the foul, banks it, missed it, will go to the line to shoot. McCollum gets called for his third foul.
And you're right. If those threes aren't falling, and they haven't lately, then attack the basket, because if it's not going in, then you'll get a foul.
So Spencer Dinwiddie, 17 points tonight. First one is good.
To show you the difference of how the two teams are being aggressive, Pelicans are in the bonus. That's only the second team foul on the Pelicans.
One more coming for Dinwiddie. On the way. Good. The Mavericks 103, the Pelicans 91. Ingram in the middle of the floor. Nance screen right. Ingram goes that way, hooks it behind him. McCollum for a straightaway 3. It's good. The first 3 of the game for C.J. McCollum. Only his second three-pointer attempted. 103-94 with 4:10 remaining. Green along the left side. To Powell on the handoff to Dinwiddie. To his left. Played by Nance on the switch. Doncic killed Nance. Can Dinwiddie do the same? As he turns to his left, gave it up to Green. Left wing 3, he hits. Big 3 for Josh Green. That gets Willie Green off the bench to take a New Orleans timeout with 3:51 remaining. It's the Mavericks 106, the Pelicans 94 on the Dallas Mavericks Radio Network.
Hey, Mavs fans, next time you're at American Airlines Center, look for beers from Four Corners Brewing Company, proudly brewing in the heart of Dallas since 2012. And we invite you to visit our tap room located in the Cedars neighborhood just south of downtown. We're open nightly.
What if a mouse could change the world? If I could ride a runaway railway with Mickey and Minnie? What if there could be a huge party with all my Disneyland friends?
Come celebrate 100 years of Disney during a once-in-a-lifetime celebration at the Disneyland Resort. Both tickets and park reservations required. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
This February, Xfinity Flex is unlocking premium entertainment for you to try every single week, no strings attached. Celebrate during Black History Month with shows like Unsung the Decades. Snuggle up during Valentine's Day with a Lifetime Movie Club pick like Harry and Meghan, A Royal Romance. Or crank up the action with Godfather of Harlem from MGM+. Get down and funky with the Classic Soul playlist from iHeartRadio. Easily discover new free content each week across the best streaming app. Say free this week into your Xfinity voice remote.
Well, I started my own restaurant because I love to cook. But that also means a lot of greasy pots and pans. And we can't waste time with endless sink changeovers. So we upgraded to Dawn Professional Pot and Pan.
Dawn Professional cleans 58% more pots and pans per sink than the leading competitor.
Less dish soap, fewer changeovers, and more time doing what we love.
Dawn Professional. It's clean. Upgraded. From P&G Professional.
2 minutes ago in the first quarter in Milwaukee, the Clippers leading the Bucks by a score of 22-9. Earlier, Lakers beat the Pacers 112-111. Cavs over the Grizzlies 128-113. Knicks beat the Heat 106-104, and the Bulls a home court win tonight as they beat Charlotte 114-98. Chuck.
Whataburger and the Mavericks have partnered to feed student success with the What a Block campaign. With every block made this season, Whataburger is donating $50 to the Mavs Foundation to help students throughout North Texas. To learn more, visit Mavs.com/Whatablock. $10,250 committed so far. New Orleans with the ball out of the timeout. Left elbow pop from Ingram. Score it with a foul on Dwight Powell, who tried to get the arm straight up in the air, but got the body leaning into him instead.
And that'll be a fouling out for Dwight Powell. Bullock, who just sat down as Finney Smith with 5 fouls, re-entered the game. Reggie will come back in, and the Mavs will play small once again.
Brandon Ingram has come alive after a very quiet first quarter. Now looking at his 13th point in the second half. He missed it. The rebound, Finney Smith, and a loose ball foul against New Orleans. Najee Marshall called for the loose ball foul by the outside official Leon Wood with 3:38 remaining. 106-96. Trying to get it into Dinwiddie. Josh Green finally able to. The Pelicans 8 of 13 shooting in the fourth quarter. The Mavericks are 4 of 16. Dinwiddie from left to right. And now against Nance on the switch, telling everybody to clear out with 7 to shoot. Between his legs, dancing, trying to drive it, spin it, and throws it away right to Marshall. Had nowhere to go with it. Now to Ingram up the left side against Reggie Bullock on the drive. Put his head down at the dotted line, hangs and scores from 10 feet, and that's Brandon Ingram's game. And you can sense the dread in the building right now.
Under 3 minutes to play, an 8-point game.
106-98. Dinwiddie outside the arc on the left against McCollum. And again, the Mavericks let the clock run down without a lot of movement as Dinwiddie pulls up for 3, and that is an air ball over the top of the right of the rim and out of bounds.
Well, you said it. Everybody just standing around the three-point line, nobody penetrating, and just an ill-advised shot. You got to penetrate and get the open look.
106-98. The Mavericks had a 31-point lead in the second quarter. It's down to 8 right now. Ingram backs up against Bullock. He's feeling it right for McCollum, and that's deflected by Finney Smith out of bounds.
Good hands by Finney Smith on a deflection, 12 on the shot clock.
McCollum to inbound from the right side. Looking in the Nance on the bounce. Coming around is Ingram. Top of the arc against Finney Smith, playing with the 5 fouls. Jab step to his left, pulls up from the elbow. That's no good. Rebound, Ingram batted it off the board. Josh Green able to come out of there with it.
Good thing about this defense, when you're playing small, you can switch everything. That's neutralized a little bit of what New Orleans can do.
2:15 remaining, 106-98. Green on the left side of the floor. Down to 8 to shoot. He'll try to drive on McCollum. Got in deep, and the floater around and down.
Nice to see him being aggressive and finding his stroke now with.
Tell you what, a couple of big baskets here for Green in the fourth quarter.
15.
Here is McCollum on the drive. Got around Finney-Smith, who had to be careful, and he laid it up and in. 19 for McCollum as New Orleans presses in the backcourt. Inbound, Finney-Smith to Hardaway. Now Dinwiddie. They try to trap him. Ahead to Finney-Smith. Gets it across the line in time. Whips it left corner. Green. Back out. Hardaway. Left wing three. Can't get it to go. The rebound goes out of bounds across the sideline. It's New Orleans ball with 1:40 to play.
Yeah, had the open look there. Just couldn't convert it for Hardaway. It's now 2 of 11 from deep.
And 3 of 17 overall. McCollum lets the ball roll the midcourt line. To the right to Jones. Jones backs up. Play by Dinwiddie. Left to Ingram against Bullock. Spinning right. Scoops it out to Marshall. Back to Ingram. Drives left. Met by Finney-Smith and scores it. He went right over and through him to do it.
Finney-Smith got hit in his right hip there, but with 5 fouls, he had to play it as best he could.
24 for Brandon Ingram. With 1:15 remaining, 108 to 102. Dinwiddie to the right. Sidestep right. 3-shot block by Marshall. Taken down by Ingram. To Marshall on the left side. On the drive. Lays it in over Hardaway. And a timeout taken by Jason Kidd with 58.4 seconds remaining. And the Mavericks one-time 31-point lead at 62 to 31 has been reduced to 4 at 108 to 104. An absolutely stunning turn of events as the Mavericks losing Luka Doncic at the 6:47 mark of the third quarter. The Mavericks were fully in control at that point. They were up by 27 at 84 to 57. The Mavericks have scored just 22 points in the last 18 minutes.
Yeah, the playbook of playing without Luka, and you saw in the Phoenix game, penetrate, use that to get open looks. They seem to be, and you mentioned it a couple of possessions ago, stagnant, dribble, and then shooting with 5 guys around the three-point line and not getting into the paint, either to get the basket, the foul, or get the open look. And when they are getting some open looks, key players like Hardaway aren't hitting them.
Well, and to the Pelicans' credit, well, they haven't had the three-point shot going all night, but they have been, and certainly here in the fourth quarter, relentless. And Brandon Ingram in particular, in getting himself to the rim. And Brandon Ingram, for the first time since his return to play after missing the 29 games with the toe sprain, is looking like himself.
Well, imagine them making this comeback while only 5 of 20 from 3, and one of the big reasons why, 66 points in the paint. They're outscoring the Mavericks in the paint 66 to 38.
The Mavericks 5 of 20 in the fourth quarter, 1 of 9 from 3, as Josh Green, one of the baseline, gets it into Hardaway. Against McCollum, nice screen by Dinwiddie to let him get it across the line, and Dinwiddie being overplayed and being held. Herb Jones wrapping his arms around Dinwiddie. Jones can't believe it. Leon Wood with the call. It's the first in the last 2 minutes against the Pelicans with 50.1 seconds remaining. And Willie Green all the way out to show his displeasure at Leon Wood. And he wrapped him up around the waist. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Bullock trying to get it in. He will to Hardaway. In a 4-point game. Swings it into the middle to Josh Green. Against Marshall. 8-on-8 as he turns to his right. Behind him to Hardaway. To his left. Challenged by McCollum. 3 way short. Rebound Nance. 35 seconds left. Here comes Ingram. Veering to his left. Against Josh Green at the hash mark. Now puts his head down in the lane at the dotted line. Short. And the rebound to Bullock. 24 seconds left. To Dinwiddie. And a foul on Marshall that will put Dinwiddie on the line with 21.6 seconds remaining. And Brandon Ingram, Brian, got the shot he wanted.
He absolutely did. And when the Mavericks had it on offense, we did see some penetration. Green didn't go as deep, but the open look was to Hardaway, and Hardaway missed it. Now 2 of 12 from deep. We're lucky Ingram missed a point-blank shot from where he usually can hit it.
Thought there was a foul that was called. Wasn't this the second in the last 2 minutes? It's a foul with 50 seconds to go.
Yeah, because they just had the foul.
And there's a foul here.
Right.
There should be free throws. What's going on here? We'll have to check that out. Mavericks get it across the line. Hardaway holds the ball. Cross court right to left to Bullock. And now the foul on Marshall.
Yeah, it was the foul that occurred on Spencer Dinwiddie that we just saw.
Right over the midcourt line.
Right.
There was a foul right here.
Right. That's confusing.
Why were there not free throws?
Well, Bullock's on the line now. 4-point game.
65.5% for the season for Reggie Bullock, and he hits it. He's trying to make it a full one-possession game. Okay, it was a double foul that was called.
Okay.
So no team foul there. Thanks to Jim Geyer, statistician, for the explanation. Bullock misses the second, and a timeout as Nance gets the rebound. The Mavericks this year, Brian, have missed 36 free throws in the clutch. That is more free throws missed than in the prior 2 years combined, when they missed 31 total.
And is there any reason that the Mavericks are having issues closing games and winning in the clutch?
Got to be able to make
not
free
rocket
throws.
science.
It's not rocket science.
Especially in a year when the league is shooting
78% from the foul line.
Better than in a long, long time.
Ever. 78% as a league from the foul line. The Mavericks tonight, 21-27, 78%. And they're likely to get out of here with a win with 15.6 seconds to go.
Well, it's because they had, thanks to Luka, built such a buffer, 31 points at one point. If not, then we're talking about another devastating loss.
It could very well wind up being a Pyrrhic victory if Luka is out for any length of time.
Well, it's that same ankle, and so you wonder the second time around, do you miss a couple of games because it's re-aggravating and you want to be safe? You got a game at Utah Monday. That's another important game.
Well, you're playing every other day, and then a back-to-back on Friday and Saturday in Sacramento, where you're going to be going 150 miles an hour playing that game. All right, the Pelicans to inbound, 15.6 seconds left, as Herb Jones will inbound from the left sideline at the hash mark, looking for the long lob to the rim. It wasn't there. Still looking, and barely gets it into time to Ingram against Green. Puts his head down, driving right in the lane, and then steps back from the right elbow, and he hits with 9.3 seconds to go. It's a one-possession game. The Mavericks can call a timeout to advance the ball.
Advance it.
They really should.
I want to throw it under your, especially when they're pressing, throw it under your own basket.
Green looking into Bullock, doubled in the corner. They got a foul, and they finally do. Oh, they got a timeout. But they got a timeout with 6.6 seconds remaining. They got
it's in the back court.
Yeah, they got to inbound the ball in the corner.
You got to advance that ball.
That was a misplay on the part of the Mavericks. You got to be able to advance. I hate the rule. I think it's the dumbest rule that exists in professional sports. You should not. It's like in football, moving the ball 50 yards up the field to be able to kick a field goal, even though you haven't done anything.
You like the college rule?
Yes, absolutely. And college basketball doesn't have much right as far as the rules are concerned. They do have that one right.
Well, that's more excitement. Then if there's 4 seconds left and you have to do it the length of the court, you're not going to get a last-second shot. Obviously, you will.
You could, but again, what have you done to earn 70 feet of?
You've earned having a timeout in your pocket, and the Mavericks have to recognize that.
Yes.
In that situation, especially when they're pressing like that, which they're doing, and you don't have Luka in there, who's your smartest guy throwing the ball in. Go ahead and advance the ball.
But now you can't, and now
free throw, you win the game. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Now you're throwing it under your own basket. One miss, no timeouts left in case you're running, in case you can't get the ball in. A turnover, and it could be an easy basket.
Let me tell you that because of what Luka did early in the game, he is our hot player of the game, brought to you by Baker Brothers Great Service. Now, that's a real home court advantage. 6.6 seconds remaining. Josh Green to inbound in the backcourt in the right corner. Brandon Ingram will be all over him. Green looking. Will throw it, pass block. Ingram able to get it in. Oh, it hit the sideline. Ingram was on the sideline. Oh, my goodness.
And he had tipped it to another Pelicans player who had a wide open three.
with 3.4 seconds remaining. And they may...
they may look at this.
Yeah, they may put some time back on the clock, too. Wow. Oh, goodness.
I wonder if they're going to look at this to see if he was actually down, because it was clear that the Pelicans got possession. They could review this.
The three officials, Kevin Scott, Brent Barnaky, Leon Wood, looking it over.
He hits that in the air, Chuck.
He hits that in the air. Absolutely hits that in the air. Are they going to give it to Dallas? Oh, wow.
They're going to go back with the original call, which was that he stepped out of bounds.
Wow.
Mavericks going to break there. Now Hardaway is going to throw it in.
Boy, would Willie Green love to have a challenge right now? You think he'd like to have one? Hardaway will inbound into Dinwiddie. There's the foul.
You make a great
2.4
point,
seconds
Chuck,
left.
though. That's why you hold on to those challenges till late in the game. I know you want to use them early, and it could be a possession or some points on the board, but situation like that is a game-changing play.
There were so many possessions in an NBA game. To use one in the second quarter is really absurd.
One free throw here ends the game.
Yeah, unless you have a 31-point lead, which the Mavericks did at the time, and this one's over as Dinwiddie hits it.
But to reiterate, Ingram, those long arms Ingram has, he jumps up, gets the ball, tips the ball from Green throwing it in, and is able to tip it back for a wide-open three look by the Pelicans, but not to be.
He makes the second. Willie Green will take a timeout. 2.4 seconds left. The Mavericks like this 111-106 score. They beat Detroit on Monday night with that score. They also beat Houston earlier this year down in Houston with that score. That was the night that Luka scored 50. And they're up by 111-106 now with 2.4 seconds left. But this, as good as the first half was, and it was terrific, this second half is going to give the Mavericks an awful lot to think about when they look at the tape tomorrow and before they go out to practice, because they just didn't perform once Doncic was off the floor. And we've seen this all year.
Over and over again.
The difference offensive rating when Luka's on the floor and what the Mavericks do, how they score when Luka is on the floor, which is at a league-leading level, versus when he is not on the floor, which is
a league worst level.
Right.
And that's the difference. And that the loss of Brunson is seen most keenly there. It's not when we're on the court. We have one of the best half-court offenses in the history of the league when Luka's in there. It's when Luka's not in there. That's where Brunson's missing, where we miss him the most. And if you can just increase those non-Luka minutes a little bit, you're talking about a few points here and there in all those clutch games with the West so packed that make a huge difference.
The 32nd clutch game for the Mavericks this year. And they're about to be 19-13 in those games. The Pelicans will fall to 11-14 as Jones will inbound the ball. And looking for the flare. It's knocked away by Green. Picked up by McCollum. Got it to Ingram. Left side three is short at the horn. And the Mavericks have their first back-to-back wins since New Year's Eve and January the 2nd, when they completed a 7-game winning streak. They literally hold on to defeat the New Orleans Pelicans tonight, 111-106, and sending New Orleans to its 10th consecutive loss.
Well, we said it Monday when we were looking at these two games, Monday and Thursday. You had to have them. They got them. Both of them weren't pretty. You bank the W's. But, yes, there's going to be a lot for Jason Kidd to talk about tomorrow on the plane ride to Golden State about how they need to play without Luka, and we don't know what his status is going to be for that game or going forward.
No, we won't know that, but the Mavericks fortunately get a couple of big baskets from Josh Green, a three-pointer with about 3:50 remaining, and then a drive into the lane with about 2.5 minutes to go. And those really were the biggest baskets that allowed the Mavericks to sort of hold off what the Pelicans were doing. And again, the Mavericks winning because of a dominant first half in which they scored 70 points and shot 57%. The Mavericks wound up shooting 43.5% for the game and do manage to survive. But I will say that one thing we've seen now in the last 7 games, and that includes tonight, no matter how poorly they played in the second half, where they were giving up 120 and 130 points. They're not doing that anymore. The Pelicans have been struggling during the course of this losing streak. They've been averaging 103, score 106 tonight. But, if you can hold teams to around 106, you do in this NBA have a chance to win a whole bunch of games, and Mavericks were able to do that tonight.
Yeah, when you're playing small, they're playing basically the way they played at the end of last season and towards the playoffs, where everybody on the court knows the defense. They know exactly where to go. They know how to run people off the three-point line. They know the rotations. They know the communication. Powell has played really solidly. And so you're right. We know what their offense can do. It's bringing that defense back up from being in the 20s to back up to the 10 to 15 range, because in the history of the NBA in the last 39 years, there have only been 3 teams that have not had a top 10 defense and won the title.
The final score tonight, the Mavericks 111, the New Orleans Pelicans 106. We'll come back and recap the game for you, run through the box, and go inside the Mavericks locker room, and we'll do it all next on the Dallas Mavericks Radio Network.
Make a fast break to Mavs games on Dart. It's all the game day action without the game day traffic. Score a three-pointer by buying a PM pass and ride as much as you want from pregame to post for just $3.
What if a mouse could change the world? If I could ride a runaway railway with Mickey and Minnie? What if there could be a huge party with all my Disneyland friends?
Come celebrate 100 years of Disney during a once-in-a-lifetime celebration at the Disneyland Resort. Both tickets and park reservations required. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing.
But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
The big game is getting closer. Kick off preparations with everyone's most important game day tradition, opening the fridge. This year, Best Foods will help you create the most delicious game day spread. Best Foods has put together a team of easy-to-make recipes that'll take your favorite football sides to a delicious new level. This year's must-make is their Ham and Brie Super Panini. It's the rich and creamy star of this year's game day spread. All you need is a little Best Foods. Check out the Super Panini recipe and more Best Foods game day recipes by heading over to GameDayDishes.com.
This February, Xfinity Flex is unlocking premium entertainment for you to try every single week, no strings attached. Celebrate during Black History Month with shows like Unsung the Decades. Snuggle up during Valentine's Day with a Lifetime Movie Club pick like Harry and Meghan, A Royal Romance. Or crank up the action with Godfather of Harlem from MGM+. Get down and funky with the Classic Soul playlist from iHeartRadio. Easily discover new free content each week across the best streaming app. Say free this week into your Xfinity voice remote.
From the makers of the greatest cheddar of all time comes the greatest cheddar hits of all time. Tillamook presents Block Jams. Tasty tunes about the meltiest slices.
I'm stacking that cheddar like my standards high. Don't want no snack.
The boldest shreds. And a double dippable cheddar.
I can't stop double dip.
Tillamook cheddar is so good, it inspired a whole album. Block Jams is not sold in stores, but Tillamook cheddar is. Get yours today.
Mavericks defeat the Pelicans tonight here at the American Airlines Center, 111 to 106, as the Mavericks improve to 28-25.